houses. So if you're not equipped and prepared to sell houses, then maybe you're in the wrong business, right? You got to learn how to sell houses and what to talk about and how to spark those conversations. And so here's 6 that you can easily talk about that nobody else knows about, right? So this already differentiates you from everybody else because nobody knows these 6 that are coming soon. Cool. Pending right now, we have 6. You guys know the second line is my favorite number. $120,770 in gross commissions being paid out to whoever has these 6 escrows, right? That's a lot of money. So in the next week or two, 120 grand is gonna be made in this room. So go figure out who has some money, and then if you need to borrow some, go get it. Below that is 4.2 million in volume, and then these are the people. So I'm giving you a hint who has the money coming. All right, gotta go get it. I didn't do this last couple of trainings, but I want to give you guys kind of a year to date. So listings, we've closed 12. Of those 12, 203,000 in gross commissions was paid out, and then that's about 11 million in gross volume. What does that tell you about listings? Each listing, what's 203,000 divided by 12? Who's good at math? $203 divided by 12? 16,000. 16,000, yeah? Somewhere in there? Okay. Buyers, we've also closed 12, so we're 50-50 right now. 183,000 for about 9.3 million in volume. What is 183,000 divided by 12? 14,000. 15.2? Cool. So that just tells me we make a little bit more per listing than we do per buyer right now, right? So keep that in mind. Some of those are weighted or skewed a little bit because some of our investor sellers have lower commissions. And I just want you guys to know, you'll make more money if you focus on listings. Events and announcements. So we have Margarita and Mingle coming next Thursday on the 29th. That is from 5 to 8 p.m. That is in PB. So because we have a listing coming soon in PB, what do you think I'm gonna be talking about at Margaritas and Mingle?
The listing.
The listing, right? Who do you think goes to Margarita and Mingle? People that live in PB. Owners of shops that are in PB, right? Who do you think is buying a $2.5 million house in PB? It's probably a business owner, a younger, higher successful type of person. So you wanna put yourself in the environments to where you can sell to the right people, right? So just a quick tip, if you guys come to that event, make sure you have PB house in your back pocket, right? Agent boot camp, so on Friday, I mentioned this to you guys a couple times before, Friday, May 30th, for whoever's new or whoever hasn't closed a deal yet, I highly encourage you to come here. I will do a 6-hour training to kind of try to catch you up to speed, right? In the Tuesday trainings, there's only so much information I can go over. And so on Friday, May 30th, I'm gonna attempt to go top to bottom in 6 hours if my voice can handle 6 hours straight. So come that day if you can. Grace has an event. Grace, you wanna tell us about your event coming soon?
Fitness and finances. So bringing in a financial advisor that Mike was kind enough to connect me with. We're gonna do a 30-minute seminar primarily for first-time buyers. Just talking about, not like the traditional stuff that anyone could YouTube, but Devin, who's the financial advisor, is going to go through case studies, so how he's helped to set people up for success so that they're not house poor, or a lot of people just have this stigma like, oh, I could never buy a house now, but we're going to really break it down. So that'll be like 30 minutes of a case study and Q&As. We'll have coffee, Celsius, juice shots, the whole kit and caboodle, music, and then it's going to be about a 45 to 50 minute really intense workout for all levels though, just to kind of stir up some fun and excitement around the home buying process.
Awesome, awesome. Everybody got that down? How many people are we wanting to attend this event?
It's maxed out at 30, so it's a little
30, oh.
intimate. We could probably squeeze in 35,
okay.
But that, like, I'd rather have it busy than not
cool.
People.
For sure.
I think we have 5 right now.
Oh, okay.
So I gotta get my boots on the ground.
Yeah, cool.
Running.
No, that's good.
2.5 weeks, yeah.
So your guys' homework is to use this event as a place you could invite somebody that could be a buyer, could be a seller, it could be a friend, to expose them to grace and to fitness and to finance. And how you're going to do that is you're going to sell the crap out of this event, right? And how do you do that? It's easy for me to sell this event, and so I'll show you guys. If I was talking to a friend, let's say Juliana, right? I'll ask Juliana, hey Juliana, what are you doing on the 7th at 10:30 a.m.?
I don't know.
You don't know? Cool. You're mine, yeah? For 10:30. So step one, clear the date, right? That's how you invite somebody to an event. Notice how I didn't say what the event was, what we were gonna do. I sold the date first, right? So clear the event. And Juliana, you're mine at 10:30 on Saturday. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm actually going to have my personal financial advisor, and if you know me, you know I'm pretty successful, right? He is going to come. We're going to do a fitness and finances event with my business partner, Grace, and it's something you're not going to wanna miss because he's gonna share a lot of nuggets of how he helped me and a bunch of other people become millionaires. So 10:30 Saturday, June 7th, I'll send you the link to register, okay?
Got it.
That's it. If you can do that to one or two people, you get them to come to an event, they meet Grace's energy, they see my financial advisor, they meet a couple of us too, that person becomes your client for sure. Maybe today, maybe in 6 months, maybe in 12 months, and yet nobody is exposing people like that to an event like this. And by the way, Juliana, there's only 30 people that can come, and I know it's almost booked. Can I count on you 100% to come?
Yes.
Right? Then you reconfirm. You sell the scarcity, right? Only 30 people can come. Now it's only 25 people. If you haven't got your ticket yet, like, I don't want it all to be us, but at the same time, it should all be us because my financial advisor is literally coming and he doesn't come to a lot of stuff, right? But because it's me, because it's Grace, and because it's fitness, my financial advisor used to be a bodybuilder. So all he knows is fitness and finance, right? So when I mentioned it to him, like he was already in before we even started like promoting the event, right? So keep that in mind, right? That's how you sell an event. That's how you get people to show up. That's how you get people to participate. And when they're at the event, that's when you close them, right? Like, hey, who else is giving them that type of exposure? Who else is introducing you to people that create other people to become millionaires, right? Now, I don't think none of your friends are inviting me to learn how to become a millionaire, so you become their trusted source, right? So make sure you leverage that event and the other events, right? But leverage that one for sure, because it's an easy one. Questions? LJ.
I guess what type of content is he going to cover? Is it more geared towards like?
No, it doesn't matter.
First time? Oh, no?
No, doesn't matter.
Okay.
The more you know,
Okay.
the more you think you have to sell it,
Got it. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
What did I tell you guys? My financial advisor has created millionaire out of me and a bunch of other people, and he's going to share how he did that with just a handful of us. Bo, can I count on you to be there?
Sure.
That's it. Don't oversell, right? I think a lot of us, maybe Grace realized before, she used to oversell maybe at open house, right? Most of us oversell. So just give them enough information to make a decision, make them feel scarce, and make it feel like it's important for you for them to be there, and most people will show up, right? Juliana, what you got?
Are we RSVPing through you, Grace?
I'm gonna put it on Eventbrite today, so I can put that in like our master group chat. Or you can DM me, text me, and I can do it for you guys. I was thinking of sometimes if people are really busy, I'll just go, I'm gonna RSVP for you, like what's your email?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you have their email and you can reconfirm or send a follow-up or whatever, if there's some changes or whatever the case is. Yeah, cool. And then lastly, I'll mention the Ascend conference. I'm gonna mention this probably every week or so, just to embed it in your guys' head. It is in October, it's the 15th through 18th. It is going to be in Orlando, Florida, and it's a 3 or 4 day type of event. It is the conference for LPT for our brokerage. I would highly encourage you guys to attend. Most of the time, again, I don't make money if you guys come or don't come, but I do know that the people that come to events like this typically make significantly more money. Why? Because one, they're investing in themselves. So this is a great filter for players, right? This event costs $1,000, plus we gotta fly there, plus you got a hotel, plus you gotta eat, right? So it's probably gonna cost realistically $2,000, let's call it, right? So who invests $2,000 in themselves, in their mindset, in their skill set? Typically only players do, right? Only people that are producing or going to produce. People that don't think they're gonna produce or don't produce typically don't come. So this is the best room to be in, right? Because there's a barrier of entry. So I would encourage you guys to go. I think I mentioned it last time too, is that typically big decisions are made at big events because you're in a different mindset, you're in a different environment. You're around different types of people that maybe think bigger, think differently than you do. And so I would encourage you to put yourself in that environment. Anybody know who Tony Robbins is? Yeah? Anybody been to a Tony Robbins event? Ooh, see? That separates me from you already, right? Because that event, most people pay thousands of dollars to go. You're immersed into almost a different world for 4 days, and you come out different than you went going in, right? And so that's a great event to go to. This is that for real estate. So you're all in the game of real estate, so I'd encourage you to go to this. If not this, then maybe find something else that is equivalent. I don't know what else is equivalent, so I'm going to this one, right? So keep that in mind, guys, too. Again, I'm not here to sell you on the event. I don't make money if you go to the event, right? But if I did, I would say, I don't want to say it, but I would probably convince most of you guys to go, right? Right? I would, you know how I would sell the event? I'd say, who has $2,000 on the credit card? Raise your hand. All of you guys. Cool, one by one, come up. I'm gonna open the link and I'm gonna have you guys all register for the event, right? The event's only $1,000, so the other $1,000 you guys are responsible for. But we're not gonna do that because I want you guys to go because you want to and because you believe that you can. And so we're gonna talk about mindset a little bit more today, but that is one of them. The reason why none of you guys have signed up yet is because you still have a challenge here, right? One, you don't believe it's gonna be worth it. Two, you don't know if you have the money. Three, you don't know if you'll have the money at that point. Four, you don't know if you're gonna be in this business more than 6 months, right? Like, I already know what all you guys are thinking, and it's probably all the reasons why you haven't signed up yet. So keep that in mind, guys. Try to commit to playing a bigger game. Admin tips, real quick, make sure you communicate effectively with the admin staff, but also with me, right? Because while I try to do the best that I can to help each of you guys that are at different places of your business, I also can't read your mind. So if you don't know how to do something or can't find how to do something or don't know where that resource is, then make sure that you guys ask one of us to try to help you go in the right direction. Cool? All right, we'll jump into some of the recaps and training today. So successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. Don't wish it were easier, wish it were better. So going to the events, right? Going to Grace's event, you're getting better, right? Going to the LPT conference, you're not wishing everything's better. You're doing something, taking some kind of action to get better and continue to grow. So don't wish it was better, be willing to do something about it. We'll skip over, oh, actually some of you guys are newer. So core values real quick. These are the top 6 that I kind of stand by. You can adopt all of them or you can adopt none of them. Anybody want to pick one and tell me what it means to you? Anybody? Okay, what you got?
I love the build and maintain trust. I think that's super important. Just being that solid, consistent, honest person that they just know that, you know, Mike's gonna take care of them or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love it. Build and maintain trust goes a long way, not only with your clients, but also when you're in escrow, right? So we just opened escrow on a buyer transaction, and if you can just build trust by doing what you say you're going to do, that person on the other side is going to like you and appreciate you and know that this transaction is going to be smooth, right? So if somebody sends you a counter or somebody has a conversation with you and you say, yes, we're going to do this, or I think my client is thinking like this, or I think we're going to go this direction. If you actually do that, then that person trusts you on the other side, right? So trust is a combination with your vendors, with the people that are around you, with your clients, with the other side of the transaction. And so make sure you think, again, about the big picture, not just singular trust with that client per se. Cool. All right. So real quick, working with buyers, I've repeated this a couple times. I want to make sure it sticks in. The number one thing that I do is the buyer's consultation first. And how do I do that? Is I sell the appointment just like I sold Juliana, right? I talk to them about, hey, what are you doing on Tuesday? Like, what's your schedule looking like between 3 and 5 on Wednesday, right? Then you could sell them, cool, well, sounds like our next step is to get together so that we can go over the home buying process and help you understand, build the relationship, share tools, resources, and things like that. So you have to sell the time, sell that block before people will commit to it. So make sure you guys do that. Writing a winning offer, I always suggest reaching out to the listing agent first to see what's important. Sometimes that agent will tell you certain things that you didn't know until you talk to them, right? So for example, the escrow that we just opened on the buyer side, I reached out to and had a couple conversations with this agent. I'm not gonna say her name, but she shared with me, a complete stranger by the way, I've never met this person, that she is part owner of the house, and I knew that because I saw her name on title. I didn't bring it up, but she shared with me that she's getting a divorce, right? So that gives me more information to be able to bring back to my client and make sure that we can negotiate accordingly because that person is getting a divorce. It's not to take advantage of that person, but when you make that call and have a conversation up front, they'll share things with you if you ask nicely and you have a good conversation. It allows you to equip yourself to write an effective offer. You can ask them what they need in the offer, and then you structure it based on what feedback you got and based on the feedback that your client wants, right? It's not only what the seller wants, but if you can have some of that information, know their timelines, know what needs to happen, then it makes it easier for you to structure the offer. So for example, on that buyer transaction, they need a rent back because they are getting divorced. One is leaving early and then the other one has to find another apartment, so they need a slight rent back for 3 weeks. Because I know that going into the transaction, I can talk to the buyer about that, make sure that they're comfortable with that, and our offer will be different than everybody else's offer because they may not know that information. So ultimately, if you get 2 offers that are the same price, and the only difference is I am allowing that person to rent back for 3 weeks and the other one isn't, who's gonna win the offer?
You are.
Of course. So having that conversation is really important to be able to move that client forward. Working with sellers, preparing for a listing appointment, you want to run comps, you want your pre-listing packet, a listing presentation, and a marketing plan. Attempt to communicate all of these things in your listing appointment. Some listing appointments are easier than others, some are much harder than others. So ultimately, it's important to try to get through these things as much as you can or leave information behind as much as you can if that person doesn't move forward with you on the spot. Running comps, I'll show you guys how to do that in the future. Conducting the listing, attempt to do a walkthrough first. That way you understand what you're working with, what the property looks like, what features the property has, and then present comparables, because if you know what the house looks like, and then you look at your comparables and your comparables are not the same as that house, then you can have that conversation and adjust accordingly. So for example, let's say the house is not remodeled at all and all of your comparables are remodeled, but you didn't know that going into it because you never seen the house before. When you present your comparables, you could say, here are the comparables, but these ones are all updated as you can see in these photos or as you can see on the exterior. How would you rate your house compared to these comparables, right? So now you're kind of giving yourself a reason to reduce the price a little bit or have a conversation around the price versus if you didn't walk through the house, you assumed everything was perfect, you presented the comparables and the comparables said $2 million, and then you walk the house and the house is really crappy, you just shot yourself in the foot, right? So there is a reason why we go in order and do specific things so that you have the best shot of moving that client forward. Then go through the presentation, then marketing, then I assume the timelines, right? If I can get through the marketing side, then we're gonna reverse engineer the timeline. So based on what you said, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you wanted to be in your new home by July 1st, then this is what we need to do next week, and this is what needs to happen the following week so that we can put the house on the market this week. We can do photos this day, and like you're gonna pre-plan all of that timeline, right? And then you just move that client forward now that they have the full plan. Cool. Marketing the listing, you guys already know how we do that. We'll jump to 10 steps to 6 figures. Most of you guys have heard this before. If you haven't, we'll go into it on another training. There are 9 habits that you should have and equip yourself with. There are 5 of them that you should do daily, 4 of them that you should do weekly. So these are the 5 that you should do daily. And my favorite one is number 2, focusing on your hot list. If you always focus on your hot list or focus on moving people from your warm list to your hot list, then you will always be working a hot list, right? So you can always keep those top of mind. You always know what they want, what they need, what the timelines are, what their names are, who could you refer them to, all of those things. So focus on the hot list because these are your closest people to escrow. Cool? For weekly, they're all great. I would suggest number 2 also is you have 50 live interactions. You need to have 50 conversations, 50 contacts, and I don't care where those come from, but if you're not getting to 50 yet, then it will be hard to make it to 6 figures in this business. So figure out where you can have 50 conversations. That could be networking, at open houses, door knocking, cold calling, in your sphere, whatever those things are. You need to have enough conversations to actually win in this business. So if you're hoping to get lucky by talking to 3 people a day and hoping one of those 3 buy a house, it might happen once or twice, but you will never build a consistent business with minimal activity, right? So make sure you guys know at least 50. For most of us that make multiple 6 figures, it's usually 20 plus per day, right? Like if you really want to make it in this business, you have to talk to 20 plus people per day and say, hey, have you ever thought about buying, selling, or investing in real estate? You have to have that conversation at least 20 times a day if you want to make multiple 6 figures. At 6 figures, you could probably do 50 a week and you might hit it. And then some of you guys might get lucky and close a big deal or 2 and then you'll make it, right? But to do this business long-term, consistently, at multiple 6 figures, it is a lot of conversations, right? That's why most of the time my voice is almost going out, because by the time this team meeting starts, I've already talked to a lot of people, right? So you have to have enough conversations. I recently bought a headset. I don't know if that's the best thing or the worst thing I could have done. And it's because of Chris and because of LJ. They both have these cool headsets. And then I forget the guy's name. He's in that office sometimes. He cold calls all the time. But man, the other day I was just like having the headset and I was just call after call after call. And you get through a lot of conversations that way. So I would recommend it if you guys are really focused on prospecting and like dialed in for that 1 hour. Throw a headset on. Some people, like I was the last one here. I usually am, but there was a lot of people here and nobody said bye because I just had my headset on, which is cool. Like I just zoned out and they got a lot of conversations going. So make sure you guys hit enough contacts to actually win in this business. Cool. Okay. Recap of last week. So last week we talked about mindset times skill set times action will equal your success. So real quick, I want to do a quick poll. And I want to figure out, and this is going to help me determine what we're going to be training on today. I want to figure out what is the one that you think you need the most help with. Is it mindset? Is it your skill set? Or is it actions? So I'll go around the room, and you can only pick one, and we're going to train on whatever is the most requested or most needed for today. So I'll start with you, Gabe.
Skill set.
Skill set. Okay. Julianne.
Mindset.
Mindset. Okay, we'll go in the back. Margaret.
Skill set.
Skill set. Skill set. Bo?
Mindset.
Mindset.
Skill set.
Skill set.
Skill set.
Skill set. We'll go Cyrus. I don't know.
Action.
Action. Okay. We'll go Edward.
Skill set.
Skill set. I didn't get your name, sorry, bro.
Brian, say skill set.
Skill set for Brian. And then Carlos?
Skill set.
Skill set. Vanessa, just for,
Action.
oh, action. Jason?
Action.
Mike.
Action. It's all three. I'm just kidding. That was a trick question. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so for most of you guys, you said skill set, right? Everybody can agree, they could see, they heard skill set, which is great. And what's today? Tuesday? Over the last 7 days, who has had 100 contacts? Meaning you've door knocked, cold called, open housed, and met 100 people over the last 7 days, and you were able to ask them around something around real estate. So who's done a 100? Chris is the only one, right? So why do you think I asked that question?
Fall into action.
You got a mindset for it?
Okay, so maybe there's a mindset.
Because the other two don't matter if you don't take action.
That is true. So most of you guys think you lack skill. But the real answer is most of you lack action. And I say most of you because it's literally all of you except for Chris. Right? And so there's nothing wrong with that. And we're going to solve these problems a little bit more today. But the action is the easy one to control, right? How do you get to 100? Chris, tell us, how did you get to 100 contacts? Or more. I think you did more than that, but how did you get to 100?
So most days in the morning, I'll try to cold call from about 8 till, ideally about 8 till 11. And I'll try to get 100 contacts for that period right there. I do 2 open houses a week, Saturday and Sunday, from 12 to 3. And then I'll door knock on Friday before, and I'll hit 100 doors before then. This week I switched it up a little bit. I did 50 on Saturday and 50 on Sunday, just to kind of see. Just trying to kind of gauging it, because I have done most of my open houses on Friday, or like at least the door knocking on Friday, just to kind of see if I could possibly get more contacts by doing it during the weekend rather than on Friday. So
Nice. Cool. So action, right? The more action that you take, the better your skill actually gets. So a lot of you get, again, you think you're losing or missing out on the skill, but you haven't done enough repetition to actually develop the skill, right? So my suggestion for those of you guys that don't take enough action yet is to figure out how you can, right? Again, I know some of you guys have jobs and kids and all these other things, and that's okay. And if you want to make it, it's still going to take action, right? All those are fine, but you still have to do the work. So today we're going to talk about skill set, because that's what the most requested thing is. But for most of you, we just learned it's really action, right? Masked as you're maybe making an excuse that you don't have enough skills, so you're not taking the action, right? And if you're making that excuse, your challenge is actually mindset. That make sense? So today we're going to talk a little bit about these three, but we're going to focus today on skill set. And then next week, we're going to have another conversation and see, is the issue still action? Is it skill set, or is it mindset? It's always going to be a combination, but for some of you, you're going to think it's one thing, but usually it's something else, right? So we're going to take a minute and go over a couple things around skills. Before we do that, I wanted to share a couple things with you on mindset. So I mentioned the word bold laws before, a little bit earlier today, and a bold law came from Keller Williams. So at Keller Williams, there was, I don't know, probably 30 bold laws that they would ingrain into our training, right? Here are some that I actually like. I don't like all of them, but here are some that stood out. And so I want to share with you guys. So one, change the way you look at things, and the things that you look at change, right? So change the way you look at things, and the things that you look at change. So if you look at something or somebody in a certain way, change the way that you look at them, right? Change what you actually think about what that outcome is or what that thought process is. Number 2 is you can have reasons or results, not both. So if you always catch yourself saying, yeah, I would have done that, but you're a reasons person. You're an excuses person. And that's okay for now, but if you want to be successful, you have to learn how to become a results person, meaning you can't talk yourself or make excuses out of it. So you can have reasons or results. You cannot have both. So every time you make a decision, you're choosing an excuse or you're choosing a result. So make sure you choose results. The third one, what you focus on expands. Has anybody ever heard that before? What you focus on expands. Yeah? Cool. So along those lines, there is something called your RAS. Anybody heard about the RAS? Your reticular activating system. So if I told all of you guys to think about something green in this room. Find something green, think about what's green in this room. Only green, find what's green. Juliana, what's green?
This box here.
Okay. Gabe, what's green?
Markers.
Marker's green. Bo, what's green?
Carpet.
Carpet. Chris, what's green?
Plants.
Plants. Adrian, what's green? Pen. Margaret, what's green? Okay, everybody, in 3 seconds, I want you all to shout out one answer. 1, 2, 3. What is red?
Tag.
Exit.
Only 2 people?
Things. Items. Exit sign.
Why do you think that is? Because I told you what to focus on, and that started expanding. You found the carpet green, you found that green, you said this green, you had a pen green. There's like so many green things all of a sudden. Because that's what you were focused on. So whatever you focus on will expand, so make sure you're focused on the right things. Right? Are you focused on growing? Are you focused on learning? Are you focused on connecting with people? Are you focused on selling more real estate? If you're not, if you're focused on other things, then that's why those things are expanding. Right? If you're focused on being broke, maybe that's why you're broke. Right? Maybe you should focus on making money. Focus on the right activities. Right? Be, do, have. That's how a lot of things happen in life. Most of us want it first. Right? So be, do, have means you have to be the person and then do the thing that that person would do, and then you will have the things that that person would have. So for example, if you wanted to have what a millionaire has, let's say a mansion or a nice car or whatever that is, you have to be that person now. You have to act or do what that person does, and then you will have it. Right? Most of us just want the have. And we forget that you got to be somebody that can attract the have. Right? Next one, don't mistake movement for achievement. So this is an easy one in our business to fall guilty of. And that is, you could have said, well, I cold called 10,000 phone numbers and I door knocked 100 houses a week. It doesn't mean you're doing the right activities at the right time with the right scripts, with the right conversations. So don't mistake just moving and doing for actually achieving, because 10,000 calls doesn't mean nothing unless you can actually convert those, unless you can actually move deals forward. And so don't mistake the movement and the activity for actual achievement. So if you're doing a lot of activity, that's great, you're taking a lot of action. Now we need to fine tune what you're actually doing so you can actually get results from it. And then the last one, your business grows to the extent that you do. It's one of my favorite ones, a little bit hard to understand, I think, for some people, maybe because they haven't been exposed to things that I have been. And that's why I'm such a big proponent of events or training or coaching or things like that, is because you have to grow yourself as a person. And the more that you grow as a person, the more your business will grow, right? Most people forget, or maybe they never even knew, that to be successful in this business actually takes a lot of personal development. And that's something that most people don't talk about, right? You have to really focus on developing your mind in this type of business because it's very easy to get off track, right? You can lose a listing, right? We lost 2 today. Like Josh decided to keep both, like take both off the market in one day, right? So what happened? What if those are your only 2 transactions, right? And you had never closed a deal, right? You have no money in your bank account. You've been working your ass off, and all of a sudden you get 2 deals, and then they get taken away from you.
Back
Right?
to McDonald's.
Back to McDonald's for most people, right? So your business only grows to the extent that you have growth, because you can't get taken off of your path if you're so strong and so determined, right? But this is what happens to most people. They get a deal, the deal cancels, or the deal never goes through, or they never get the deal in the first place, and then they leave the business, right? The reason why that happens is because they never develop themselves to get past that, to be strong enough, to be determined enough, to understand the cycles of this business, to understand actually what it takes to grow. And so they just leave, right? That's why there's so much attrition in the real estate space. If you look at the statistics, there's technically about 20,000 agents in San Diego. More than 19,000 of the 20,000 don't make enough to be in the business full time, because they're not personally developed enough to withstand the market changes, the dynamics of this business, right? So the more you can focus on growing yourself, in my opinion, the more that your business is actually going to grow. Cool. All right, skills. These are some of the skills that you're going to need. So we will talk about some of these today. And then these are some of the actions that you'll need to take. So we're going to go over some of these today as well. So far, is there one thing that you guys learned today that you could implement into your business?
Taking action.
Taking action? Juliana?
100 contacts a week.
100 contacts a week? Who else? Anybody else?
Get out of the reasons and get into the results.
Yeah.
Space, that's big for me.
Reasons or results? Cool. Anything else? What else stood out to you guys? Anything else you learned? Anything else you picked up?
Sell the date.
Sell the date? Yeah. You guys like how I sold that event? Yeah. What else? Anything else you guys learned? Anything else you picked up? Anything else that was a reminder? Maybe you already heard it before. Bye-bye.
The mistake movement for achievement.
Yeah? It's a good one. What else? Anything else stood out to you guys? I want you guys to think. We went 1 hour, right? What did you learn? One thing. Brian?
Personal growth leads to growth in your business.
Yeah, for sure. What else? Anything else? Who thinks they, what you got, Margaret?
Consistency in your weekly and daily habits.
Yeah, consistency, daily habits. What else? Anything else stand out to you guys?
Know the open house, or know our inventory.
Yeah, know the inventory. Yeah, that helps. Cool. All right, guys, we have 1 hour. So the next hour, we're going to do some training, and we're going to focus on skill sets because that's what you guys think you need the most. So we'll do a little bit around skill set. And so how we're going to do this is, does anybody need to use the restroom or take a, okay, 2-minute break. Yeah, 2-minute break. Go grab some coffee. We're going to go 1 hour of training, so take your break now. Oh yeah.
And they got their estimate back. It's like what they have to pay is like $8,000.
Oh shoot, out of pocket?
Yeah, out of pocket. But like,
What was the difference?
so the payoff amount of the mortgage was.
Oh, did they miss a
higher.
payment? Or like,
I don't know. Yeah, I think they.
it might have been, they were looking at last month's
Yeah.
statement or something?
Yeah.
Of the balance or
So it's
something?
$7,000 higher, so that's why. But on the escrow, that UWM payoff,
Yeah.
they have some credit, $4,000 in credit.
Oh.
They could request from UWM.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they just have to come up with the $8,000 right now.
Damn.
I know. So they're good. They're gonna figure it out. Right?
Okay.
This is Dr. Trey.
Yeah, that's tough.
Tough, dude.
Cash to close.
Wrap. I was talking to Ken. He's like, wait, what? What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they have like free escrow basically, or free
Yeah.
selling escrow at least.
Yeah. What killed him really that seller credit.
I mean, that's all of it right there, right?
Oh, shoot, you're moving. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? All right, we're halftime right now. I got Whitman on the live stream on the Zoom. It's just me and Whitman. I think someone else just joined, Tim.
Yeah.
Just keep.
You can
Dr.
keep 'em going.
Trades
Yeah, I would say.
just
keep it going.
joins. I got Brian in the background. Shout out to Brian. We are halftime. What did Mike talk about out there? We were talking about mindset. We were talking about a lot of things, right, Brian?
Sell a date to invite people.
How to sell a date to invite. So what'd you learn, Brian?
Don't oversell it, you know?
Don't come over here, man. Let's see. You can make my bad hair day go away. You can't sit down because you can sit on my lap. Anyways, there you go. Say what's up, everyone.
Hello.
This is Brian. He's joining us for the team meeting today. I invited him out in San Diego.
Wrong office.
Wrong office, but he made it. So what did you learn so far?
I saw how Mike, how he role played inviting someone to an event that could lead to, converting a lead. And he reminded some of the team members not to overshare information and, lock in the date. And also urgency,
No urgency. That's good. That's good pointers. We were just shooting a video earlier about the wholesale course. And so I took like 2 takes, right? It was, hey, something super long. And then my second one was like straight to the punch. Like, hey, just click the link below, free wholesale course, do it now. So sell urgency. I should have just said at the end,
Spaces are limited.
yeah, spaces are limited. We're taking it down tomorrow. Sign up today. This link's going to vanish. It's really not, okay? Because we're not going to do that to you. So how else is you got an escrow?
I got some buyers and I got a listing that we're gonna have to wait a little bit to list.
Oh, I saw that text message. You're using Brandon. Brandon's in the cult.
Yeah. He's gonna be shooting the listing photos for us, but yeah,
That's cool.
we got some buyers too.
What's up with my buyers, bro?
Hopefully we get them to switch to LT's lending and we lock in.
Don't worry about my lending, bro. Just do it. Just give me an offer. We don't care about lending at this point.
Get one of his flips off the market.
I took him off the market, so your buyers are gonna see that and they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, we missed out. Urgency, sell the urgency,
Yeah.
bro.
And be like, yeah, bro, if you don't put an offer in, it's gonna be a rental for 12 months.
Nah, I'm gonna raise the price, dude. I'm gonna be the first person to ever raise the price in this market. I'm gonna put turf back there. I'm gonna restage it, and I'm gonna list it at 20% more,
Is
dude.
that sunroom permitted?
Nah, it's not permanent, bro. Would you permit a sunroom? Come on,
I
man.
don't know.
How old are you?
29 now.
29. Wow. Yeah, you're kidding. When's your birthday?
December 20.
Ooh, you're almost 30. Ooh, it's over, bro. Once you hit 30, you get back problems. You get sinuses, heartburn.
Can't eat Takis anymore.
You can't eat Takis anymore for sure. Not even any of the new flavors. It's so disappointing when I see them at Target there. But yeah, you'll be fine, man. You'll be fine. Anything you want to say to the stream here? You're live, bro. Shout out to your services. How can we get a hold of you?
Hit up LT. I'm not gonna connect with you, or I'll get excommunicated.
This is a different stream, bro. Different stream. All right. How do we get a hold of you?
You can hit me up at Brian Fierro's on Instagram. Actually, my Instagram's not even like that, but just hit up LT.
Dang, bro. This guy. We got to work on his market. Can we get a new meeting? This guy needs marketing help. You got a platform with a whole 13 people watching. Okay, so many people watching. You got to go. Hit me up at 619-548-5349. There we go. 619-458, whatever he just said. But you can rewind it because Jason forgot to turn off DVR, so it's here. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Brian for stopping by. Now get the fuck out.
Shout out to the bull.
There we go. This is my new mic. I think he's about to start. So halftime is now over. That was Brian, one of our cult agents here. He's in San Diego. He's with EXP. Mike is writing on this whiteboard. So now we can take it back to Mike. That was our halftime show. We just need someone cuter, right? Someone cuter than me to be like, All right, I'll keep talking. And there he goes. He's off to the 30, to the 40, to the 20, to the, he just dove past a tree. He could go the touchdown. He did it, guys. He went back to his original spot. Everyone's looking at me like, shut the fuck up. Here we go. Someone made some popcorn. Carlos made some popcorn. I know, Mike's still going for YouTube for sure. He told me to keep talking. There he is. Oh. So Mike's back. We're going to jump into Mike's training session here. Hopefully it doesn't take that long, but it could. Okay, it could. Oh, someone's looking at me. All right, guys, later.
Well. Thank you. What else? Anybody else?
Like someone set up an appointment for like buyer's consultation. How you make sure that they will cancel? Because I have three already canceled.
Okay. Okay, what else? Anybody else? All right, I think these are all pretty good. Before we jump into this, I'm glad nobody's really asked about skills in relation to like writing offers or that type of thing. I want to remind you guys that in school, you got to jump in there and watch some of the videos, especially around training, right? Our time is best spent here going over some of the things that I went over and then going over developing your skills, your mind, and helping you grow your business. And so we've recorded over 100 videos for all the other stuff, right? How do you write an offer? Where does a car form? How do you use the MLS, right? All of those things. It's your responsibility to try to jump into there and learn those and listen to those and watch those. And then if you need help, obviously we're here to help you, right? Me and Vanessa especially on the contracts side of things. But it's helpful if you already know what to do or how to do it so that it's not in so much baby steps and it doesn't take so much time. So feel free, jump into school, watch some of those videos, especially if you have an escrow or you're opening an escrow. The next steps are like home inspection or request for repairs. Like know how to do those and where those are. And that will help everybody move a lot further, a lot faster. So make sure you jump in there. And then the other thing I'll mention is in the Google Drive, there's a lot of tools, a lot of resources and things like that. So make sure you go into there before you start asking too many questions, right? Use your resources. Otherwise, we don't need those. And I'll just do a new training every week around everything. So make sure you take advantage of those because that will help you kind of accelerate a little bit faster. All right, so we're gonna go over all of these today. I think we should be able to cover them. But how we're gonna do that is gonna be a little bit different. So I want you guys to come up here and we're going to role play through some of these scenarios. This one, the buyer's presentation and listing presentation, there are videos in school. The buyers, I did a whole mock buyer's presentation for 1 hour. So I could go over that today, but I would encourage you guys to watch that one like in real time, in real conversation with real questions. So those are in there, but if we have time, we'll come back to a couple tips around the presentation side. Closing a lead from an open house. Who has closed a lead and got them to a buyer's consultation from an open house? Cool, all three of you guys come up. Give them a hand.
Mike.
Okay, only two? Who else? You close one? Even though you asked the question, Sometimes we ask the question, we already know the answer. Elsie, you asked this question, yeah? All right, so I want you guys to take turns. I am the lead that you met at an open house. The cool thing is you can make up the backstory, right? I'll go along with it. So you can say, hey, Mike, remember me from so-and-so open house? And I'll say, yes, I remember you, okay? So I want each of you guys to go through it in front of the group here. I'll throw a couple objections, and then if you guys have some feedback for each of them at the end, then we'll give them some feedback, okay? So who wants to go first? Go, where to be bold. All right, Chris.
So I'm calling you?
Yeah, you got to get me to a buyer's consultation, one way or the other.
Sounds good. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike. This is Chris. I'm the real estate agent. We met at Stanfield on Sunday. Do you remember me?
Oh, yeah, the tall guy, right?
Yeah, tall guy. Hey, good to talk with you.
Yeah.
We had a good conversation. I know it was brief, but you were letting me know you might be looking at possibly purchase a home pretty soon.
Yeah, I went to a couple open houses, just kind of looking around, getting some feelers.
Cool. And yeah, after leaving the open house, what did you think of Stanfield? You think that might be an option?
I thought it was a good house. I don't think it's the best fit for me. So yeah, unfortunately, Chris, I appreciate you calling, but yeah, that's not going to be a good one for me.
Hey, I got that. So yeah, it didn't really hit your expectations. I understand. Well, Mike, from here, has anyone kind of walked you through the home buying process?
ChatGPT walked me through it.
Yeah, ChatGPT is a great resource, and I'm glad you're looking on there. Well, I have some time either on Thursday or Friday this week at 3 o'clock, and I would love to be able to have the opportunity just to walk you through it, and also to be able to good point for us to get to know each other, and for at least me to kind of guide you through the steps. Does either of those dates work for you?
Usually I get off of work at 5, but Chris, man, I appreciate calling. One of my cousins is a realtor, and I haven't even talked to them yet about it, but I'll probably just use them because they're like my cousin.
Yeah. Hey, that's awesome that you got a family friend that's in the business. So how long have they been an agent now for?
Honestly, I don't even know.
Okay, yeah. Most people, they usually interview about 2 or 3 different agents before they choose one that they really like. And hey, I might not be the perfect agent for you. That's why I would like to be able to at least sit down with you for 10, 15 minutes and just to kind of see. There's no harm in doing that, don't you think?
Oh, okay. Can we just do it over the phone?
Yeah, I like to do it in person, but if you don't have that much time and you want to do it over the phone, then I'm absolutely going to be able to kind of do that. Let's just put something tentatively for in person, and then if you feel that doing it over the phone is your best decision, then we'll go from there, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right, so I'll put you down here for Thursday, 3 o'clock.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, sounds good, Mike. I'll
Cool.
give you a call on Wednesday just to confirm. If you have anything that comes up, if you could please let me know before then, too. My time is really kind of limited, so I want to be able to make sure that I get somebody else into that appointment time if you can't make it.
Gotcha. Understood.
Cool. All right, thanks so much.
Thanks, Chris.
Great talking with you, Mike.
All right, good job. All right, what did Chris do well? What do you guys say he did really well?
I think he closed the appointment really well.
Yeah? What did he do?
Took lead in the conversation.
Yeah, he took lead. What else?
Overcoming the objections.
Yeah, overcame those objections. Is there anything that he could have done better?
I think a lot.
Chris, what do you think you could have done better?
I think it could have been a lot smoother. I don't know, it's just like, being under pressure sometimes I can fumble on my words in a way. I don't think nearly as clear, and I can't get the exact words I want to be able to kind of like put out. There's, in any working with objections or anything like that, maybe just kind of like pressed on the other agent maybe a little bit more, just to kind of even see if that's even a possibility, because I know it's a huge one that we always kind of get opposed, but you can kind of just see, like, hey, if there was another agent that can find you a house that, would meet your criteria, would you even be open to working with it, or do you feel obligated to work with your cousin?
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, so handling the cousin, I think, is a challenge sometimes, right? Oh, crap, and sometimes those types of things will throw you off, right? And practicing here will also throw you guys off. That's why we're doing this, right? Because if you can master it here in front of a group of critiques, then when you're on the phone, it's a lot easier.
You actually sound better to us than you probably do to yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you did good.
Would it have been kind of douchey if he kind of pressed like the, oh yeah, how many
deals has he done?
is your cousin? You know, like
Yeah.
how long has he been? I mean, obviously in a nice way, but like, yeah, I would have felt weird trying to go that angle.
Okay.
I don't know. How would you handle
I don't
it?
know. How would you handle it? My cousin's a real estate agent.
Oh yeah. What's his name? Maybe I've heard of him. Was he around?
Yeah, John Smith. I don't know if where he does business at.
Oh, I think I saw him at one of the local meetups. He sounds like a good guy. Does he do it full time or is, you know?
Okay.
What
Yeah.
if he's the bad guy?
Oh man, he screwed me out of a couple deals.
Not John Smith. Yeah. So I would try to ask questions around that person, right? Oh, awesome. Like, I'm glad you have a cousin that's in real estate. How long has he been in the business, right? Like Chris asked. What would you say is his best attribute to serve you as your real estate agent, right? If there was one thing you would change about your cousin, what would that be?
He's a pothead.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I can understand. I mean, he's a pothead, and you want somebody with a clear mind and clear thoughts and good expectations to be able to take care of you on your biggest purchase, right, Gabe? And so I appreciate that you have a cousin that is in the business, and yet I'd love to meet with you to show you a couple things that I do a little bit differently that maybe your cousin doesn't do. So, Gabe, when is the best time for us to get together, either Thursday or Friday?
Thursday.
Yeah. So you have to use whatever he gives you as much as you can to your advantage, right? Whether it's good or bad. So, cool. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, who's up next?
I can go.
All right, Grace.
Okay. Great.
Hello?
Okay, there we go. Hey, Mike, this is Grace Recco. We met at the Stanfield open house just the other day. You remember me, right?
Well, who was this again?
This is Grace Recco. We met at the
Grace.
open house the other day.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful house. It's totally renovated on the inside. We talked about the potential of maybe doing a 3-2-1 buy down for that home.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I appreciate you mentioning that. Yeah, I remember you now. Yeah, nobody's ever mentioned that to me before.
Yeah, I wanted to give you some options because I know out there it can seem a little daunting and intimidating. You mentioned you were a first-time buyer, but I realized we never actually got to dive in deep to the specifics of what you're wanting to look for in a home. And typically what I do when I meet someone is we grab coffee, we sit down, we talk about those specifics so that way I can make sure I find a home that's really targeted for what you're looking for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I was just looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house.
Okay, has anyone ever gone through the process with you of step-by-step home buying?
No. I mean, I just looked online, right? Kind of found 10 steps to buying a house and like on a PDF.
Totally, and that's what most people do. So that's why it's important we sit down together so I can really tell you kind of the ins and outs of what happens behind the scenes. That might not be what pops up online. So how about this? Why don't I schedule you for Wednesday? We can do coffee around 9 a.m. And then it's easier to get you on my calendar versus off. So let's get you on the calendar now, lock it in, and then I'll give you a little reminder email and call as well.
Oh, okay. I mean, Wednesday doesn't really work for me. Is there another day?
Yeah, absolutely. How about Tuesday at 10:30? Looks like I have an open slot on my calendar.
Yeah, I mean, Tuesday doesn't really work either.
So typically, what are the best days for you?
Usually in the afternoons, like on Thursday or Friday.
Okay, how about Thursday at 4? Instead of coffee, we can meet for like a happy hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Okay, cool. So I'll lock it in, and you know what? I'm gonna reserve a spot for us that's close to Stanfield. So since you're already in the area, it seems like you kind of know that spot. We'll lock something in. I'll shoot you the details, and we'll meet then.
Okay, sounds good. Cool, awesome.
See ya.
Good job, Grace. What did Grace do really well?
She brought value to the conversation before asking for an appointment.
Oh, yeah.
Her tonality was like really.
Tonality is really good, right? Grace's energy or tonality or excitement,
The energy.
you could feel that over the phone, right? And most people, they're not that energetic, and so that brings more energy out of them. And so Grace does a really good job with that, for sure. Who else? What else did she do really well?
I love that little tagline. It's easier to get on my calendar, off my calendar.
Got it from Mike.
That was really good. Yeah, it is true. Yeah. So you want to make your clients feel like you're busy, but not too busy to help them, right? So one of the things that are always in my mind is I want my clients to know that I'm busy doing a lot of business, and at the same time, I also want them to feel like they're my only client, right? So if you go back and ask some of my clients, like how did they feel about the transaction, Every time I called, Mike picked up the phone. Every time I texted him, he responded within 20 minutes. Every time we had a interest in a house, Mike showed me the house. Like, I felt like he was my only, like I was their only client. So I want them to feel like they're my only client, and I want them to know I have a lot of other clients, right? So if you can get your system and your communication that good and have some standards around how you operate your business and how you operate serving somebody, then hopefully you can make them feel like they have that experience too. Okay? Anything that you would critique Grace on? Anything that she could work on? Anything that she needed some help with?
I feel like I talked really fast in the beginning.
Yeah?
So I noticed that. I was like, whoa, I need to take a moment.
Yeah, so remember the personalities, right? If they are a higher driver or a higher I personality, they're probably gonna also talk fast and have that type of response. But if they are a S or C personality, you definitely have to slow down for them to really understand like everything that you're communicating. Cool, what else? Any other feedback for Grace?
Please give me feedback. I want feedback.
Okay, be hard on her, it's okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I would compliment it, like how you mentioned the 3-2-1 buy down. So people don't know about that, that gives them something to have the curiosity around.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I would say that's a good one, and there's a lot of other things you can do to plant a seed that when you follow up, you could use it to your advantage, right? So sometimes remember the conversations that you're having in person there, you want to plant something so you can come back to it later, right? Whether it's a 3-2-1 buy down, whether it's a HOA thing, like, you know what, that's a great question. As soon as I get the answer, I'm going to call you. And when you call them, you say, hey, this is Grace. I don't know if you remember me from Stanfield. You asked about the HOA thing. I want to make sure I gave you that information, right? Have a reason to call them. So because of that, people will remember if you brought that up or you mentioned that thing. Right? So I thought that was good. All right. Anybody else? Any other feedback? All right, you guys can sit down. Sorry, I know you made you guys stand up here. All right, LJ, ready? Wait. Before we get started with LJ, how many appointments recently have you booked from an open house?
Recently, so I had one today. I had one yesterday, another one today, and I have another one on Friday.
So 3 in the last couple weeks?
Couple weeks, yeah. 3.
It's pretty good, right? I think LJ is averaging like 1 appointment per open house.
Oh, sorry, we had that one on Thursday.
The listing appointment?
On Thursday, too.
Yeah,
it's 4.
So LJ had 1 open house, 2 people came to the open house. He went 2 for 2.
Oh, wow.
So if you're thinking or you're wondering, man, nobody comes to my open house, or only 3 people came to the open house, or you go 2 for 2. Like, so yeah, it doesn't. The quantity doesn't necessarily matter, right? So I think a lot of us get caught up like, oh, that open house sucked. There was only 5 people. LJ's like, I got 2 for 2. Like both of those 2 are $1 million clients. So keep that in mind. But LJ's done a couple appointments from open houses, and LJ probably has the least amount of practice because LJ does work full time and has 3 daughters, right? So again, I'm not giving him an excuse, but he needs to learn how to be very effective with the time that he has. And so with all that said, I'm going to be the hardest on LJ because he went 3 appointments. So let's go.
All right, let's go. All right, okay. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Mike, it's LJ Bognut from LPT Realty. We met over at my open house at Temecula. Remember we were talking about that cool restaurant you were looking for that was right by the house?
Well, how'd you get my number?
Yeah, I got your number when we met over at the open house. You gave it to me, I wrote it down.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember, you asked me for my phone number when we walked in.
Yeah. We actually we connected really well. We were talking about a lot of the restaurants that are over there. We kind of joked about it because I'm a fat Filipino guy. I didn't get like this in a day. I like eating a lot of food, and I saw you were smiling, and I knew we connected, right?
Oh,
I could feel you smiling over the phone, my brother.
Yeah,
so don't play it like you're trying to be hard
funny.
to get.
You're definitely funny, man. Thank you. Appreciate you calling.
Sure. Hey, what did you like best about the house?
I actually didn't really like the house after thinking about it.
Got it. That's fair enough. What did you not like about the house?
I think it just needed a lot of work, and I think we're looking for something nicer and maybe a little bit bigger.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Better layout.
Yeah. What are some of the must-haves that you guys were looking for?
We definitely want an open kitchen. We want more space. Like after walking into that house, it was fairly big, but then I just didn't like the space that it had. I think it felt like a little bit tight.
Again, man, with this kitchen, bro, you like cooking a lot, right? Me and you got to get together. You got to feed me some of that food.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
Yeah, man, I'm totally down. Hey, guess what? Some of our team came up with a couple listings that I'd love to show you that are kind of a good fit for what you're looking for. Would you be open to me sending those listings over?
Yeah. What do you want to just text it over to me right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Better yet, so I could get a better idea of what you're looking for. Is it okay if we meet up in person? What works better for you, over a Zoom call or in person over some coffee?
Oh, you know what? I mean, I don't really want to meet and go over things. Yeah, we've just been looking at open houses and kind of just getting a feel for what we're looking for.
Got it. I totally understand. Just kind of curious, how far are you into the home buying process right now?
I mean, we've been looking at houses for like 6 months.
Geez, 6 months? Dang, man, what's slowing you guys down? Most clients that I talk to, 6 months is kind of a long time for them to be looking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know how long it normally takes to buy a house. We just started looking about 6 months ago, and we kind of just check out houses as they come, catch our attention.
Oh, got it. So you're not really working with anybody that's helping you navigate that process and to see the different homes that you guys are looking at?
No, we have a bunch of friends that are real estate agents, but I just didn't want to like burden them and have them show me around. Like we're still like trying to figure out exactly what we're looking for.
Totally get it. I totally understand.
Yeah, but I appreciate your time, LJ. Yeah, I mean, if we do decide to work with somebody, it'll probably be one of my friends. Got
it. Just a quick question about the process where you guys are at. You mentioned that you'd be wanting to work with one of your friends. Have they presented anything to you or gone over the home buying process with you?
Not really. I mean, I kind of just told them that like I didn't want any pressure, so I didn't really talk to them about it too much.
Got it. One of my mentors told me that a failure to plan is a plan to fail. So if your friend hasn't put together a plan for you, how do you think you're going to get to the house that you guys are looking for?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, we were just, hoping and praying that we found the right house.
Gotcha. Well, you know what I'd love to do is create a plan for you guys and show you what's different between me and your friend. Obviously, he hasn't shown you what the home buying process would look like. I'd love to be able to show you what the home buying process. It's really, really quick. Quick 15 to 30 minute presentation. What works better for you? A Zoom call or meeting in person?
Yeah, I mean, can we just do a phone call?
Yeah, absolutely. We could definitely do that. What day or time works best for you?
Preferably the afternoons.
Afternoon, perfect. Is it okay if I get your email address so I could send you a couple packets of information that we could go over, prep it up before we have our phone call?
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just mike@mikeblair.com.
Perfect. Okay. What time and date works best for you?
What about Saturday at 12?
Saturday at 12, perfect. I'm going to put in my Google Calendar, and I'll send that Google Calendar invite over to you so we can confirm that call with you. How's that sound?
Okay.
Sound pretty fair?
Sure.
Sounds good. Well, I'm looking forward to it, man. Definitely would love to send you more restaurant recommendations, but I'm looking forward to a call on Saturday.
Awesome. Yeah, same here, man. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Cool. All right. Good job, LJ. So what did LJ do right, or what did he do really well?
He was very disarming, like made you smile, made
Yeah.
you laugh. Yeah.
How are you gonna turn that guy down, right? Yeah. Juliana, what you got?
I thought you did a really good job of building rapport.
Yeah, building rapport. He constantly reminded him of things that they talked about, right? So you kind of brought that rapport back again, the restaurants, the food, the kitchen, right? He mentioned it a couple times to bring back that level of rapport. He also asked multiple times for the close, right? For the appointment, for Zoom, for in person. Even he got rejected in the beginning. He still kind of circled his way back, and he almost led that conversation back to them saying yes. Right? So there are some things that you can do during the conversation to lead people down the right path. I like that he mentioned the plan, right? Because right now, and this is 100% true, they're basically on a plan to go nowhere, right? They're just going in circles for 6 months over and over, and nobody's ever given them a game plan or held them to any kind of standard. And so that is part of our job, right? Most people will just go circles and circles because they don't know that there should be a plan or should be a way to execute. So I like that part. What else did you guys like about what LJ shared?
Very personable and fun, and
Yeah.
You could tell he was himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Did LJ sound like a salesperson?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Did he sound like sleazy or slimy?
No.
What could LJ have done better?
brought a plate of adobo.
I do bring cookies and water. I was trying to sound that.
Yeah. Anything else LJ could have done better based on that scenario?
There was one point where you already offered to send him some properties, and then you kind of like then led into that because like I just need to get an idea of your criteria a little bit more. Probably and send him properties. It's like that's the value that you can bring. That's why he's just like just send them some, text them over to me, and then the whole point is you kind of want to get to know what they really want, so you can kind of send them the most. Like I could send you, 100 properties, but that's like you're gonna get overwhelmed. I want to send you the ones that kind of are the best suited for you.
Yeah.
Do you guys use the term buy box very much, or do you kind of like only more use that for like investors?
I use buy box more for investors personally.
Yeah.
Anybody else use the word buy box?
No.
Only for investors.
Yeah. What else could LJ have done better? There's one thing I'm thinking of. I want to see if anybody picked up on it.
I think there was a time where you could capitalize on what you said, and you could just kind of grab onto it.
Like what? Like, is there an example?
I was trying to think about it, but he kind of agreed to something, and he could have just grabbed onto it. I think he kind of changed the conversation and kind of took it somewhere else instead of kind of capitalizing on what you said or agreed on.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool. Anybody else?
So the whole point that he's been looking for like 6 months to buy a home, and hasn't even kind of ever been asked like if he's submitting any offers, but or maybe even kind of ask him like why are you even buying the property? Just trying to feel his motivation.
Yeah. Good. So a couple things that I was going to mention. One is timeline and motivation are the two most important things to try to get out of that person. So in this scenario, LJ, what's this person's timeline?
Then ask the timeline.
So then ask the timeline. And again,
ask the motivation,
he still did a really good job. 9 out of 10 times, that person still would have moved forward based on how good LJ was. But there's going to be those couple that if you didn't have their timeline or don't really know the motivation, right? LJ touched on a little bit around the type of house, right? The open concept or the space, but you didn't ask why, right? And so those are my two critiques, is focusing on the timeline and my motivation. You're looking for a bigger house? Like, can you tell me a little bit more about why you think you need a bigger house?
Yeah.
Maybe he's got a bunch of kids or dogs, or what would happen if you weren't able to get a bigger house, right? What happens if you just don't find the perfect house and you go 6 more months? Yeah. And then you can try to dig a little bit more for the motivation, right? How long do you plan to continue down that path or that process, right? Yeah. In a perfect world, when would be the best time for you to be in your new house buy, right? Like asking those types of questions will help solidify, and if there is objections that come after it, you can always go back to the timeline or motivation. Hey Mike, you told me that, in the beginning of our conversation that you wanted to be in your new house by June or by July. Is that true, or is that something that you're just not sure about at this point? Right? You can almost go back and revalidate that timeline and the motivation. So keep those two things in mind. Other than that, LJ still would have got this appointment, but the more you know about timeline and motivation, the easier it is going to be to secure that person. Question?
Do you think it's better to go straight into securing a listing appointment versus offering to send them properties? 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like I always lead with sending them properties.
Yeah, so I never send anybody any properties until we do a buyer's consultation.
Okay.
Yeah. again, everybody can operate how they want, but I know if I just do that, I'm like everybody else, right? And that's okay. If there's something that stands out to you, then it's okay to maybe do a follow-up with that, right? Let's say you can't get the appointment, you can't get them on the phone or whatever the case is. You can call, leave a message and say, hey LJ, I hope you remember me. I left you a couple messages. Not sure if you got them, but there was a property that stood out to me on 123 Main Street. I'm not sure if you saw that one, but would you like me to send it over to you? And then I would wait until they respond, and then I would send it, right? So you can use the properties, but use them strategically, because that's most of your ammunition. And so if you give everything away, then you have nothing else that they need from you, right? So I wouldn't say never, but almost never give any properties out, right? Unless it's one of my listings or unless it's something that I want to pivot them to.
So if they're like refusing to like have a phone call or a meeting with you,
Yeah.
they just want the list of properties,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah, so let's role play that. Or LG, you have a good answer for that?
Yeah,
Okay, so let's role play with Gabe.
So, well,
hey, I'm just really busy, man. Like, can you just send me a list of what you got and I'll just check it out when I have free time?
sure, just kind of curious, what type of listings are you looking for? What's your criteria?
Oh, well, I'm looking for a 2-bed, 2-bath
Yeah.
with space to add value, you know, and
Okay.
increase the equity.
Where are you living right now?
OB.
OB? Same thing, 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Well,
okay.
1-bedroom, looking to expand a little bit.
Okay. You mentioned that you're looking to expand. Was there any reason that? is it looking...
New kid on the way.
Yeah, congrats, man, shoot.
Quintuplets.
Yeah, quintuplets, dude. I got 3 girls, all girls, girl dad, 9, 7, and 3.
Whoa.
Yeah. So having 4 kids at the same time, your life's over. Just kidding. Yeah, but yeah, I'd love to send you the listings. Kind of curious, are you working with anybody right now?
Yeah, my uncle.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But your uncle doesn't have 3 girls like me.
He does not. He
Just
does
kidding.
not.
But yeah, again,
He said he'd give me a break on the commission.
Gotcha. No, I totally understand. And just so you know, the commission's completely negotiable, right? But is he adding value to, helping you to find these listings that you're looking for?
I don't know. He doesn't get back to me.
Yeah.
Regularly.
Okay. But yeah, I'd love to help you out and be able to, provide you the listings that you're looking for. What's a good contact information for you?
Gabe at Mike Blair.
Perfect. Gabe and Mike Blair. Perfect. Yeah, I could send these over to you too. What's kind of curious? I have a list of listings right now. I'd love to text it over. Is that cool?
Sure.
Yeah. Let me get your phone number.
Yeah.
Cool. When's a good time for us to meet so we could talk over some of these listings? I'd love to learn a little bit more about why you guys are moving. You mentioned you have quintuplets. That's kind of a big hurdle. I could give you some advice on how to take care of kids. Do you love boba? You meet me in person, or would you prefer over a Zoom call?
Oh, let's do Zoom.
Oh, perfect. What day and time works best for you?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Yeah. What time tomorrow?
5.
5, perfect. I'll set up a Google Calendar invite. Since you gave me your email address, I'll send that over to you. Perfect. Cool.
I thought you weren't going to give him an appointment.
I got wore down.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Most of them forget their agenda, right? Because they have a wall up, and so once
Disarmed me with
LJ disarms the wall, then it's all fair game from there, right? So in that scenario, what could LJ have done better?
Or if I had been more hard-nosed about not giving you,
Yeah.
So the reason why I said something because Emily, the one that we had our listing appointment with on Thursday, the same exact scenario. She walked in, she goes, she's a little bit older, like a little bit old school, but she goes, nah, I don't want to give my phone number out because I'm getting all these like cold calls and is it okay if I give you my email address? Like, yeah, that's totally fine. But I spent like a whole hour with her. Luckily there was nobody there, but I talked to her consistently. And eventually, she was like, okay, I'll give you my phone number.
So after you spent time with her
I did. Yeah, actually just listening, right? Like
She's a talker.
She talks a lot. But yeah, I just kind of, if you're willing to listen, they'll break it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, we talked a little bit about working with an agent, right? With a couple of our scenarios already. But in that scenario, I'd lean into that agent, especially if they shared that they weren't satisfied or that they're not doing anything. Have like more of a concerned tone. It's like, oh, like, how come your cousin's not sending you these listings? right? Is there a reason why he hasn't gotten around to it? Maybe he doesn't think that you're that important or that you're that serious. And Gabe, let me ask, it sounds like you're pretty serious with quintuplets on the way. Would you consider yourself a pretty serious buyer right now? Yeah. Okay, awesome. Then yeah, I definitely want to make sure that I can do my part and take care of you. What's the best? Like, now you just built more trust and rapport, and you kind of put that other person, not down, but that other person is probably not going to add as much value as you are at that point.
I think the biggest thing that that I knew I needed to work on, and why I wasn't converting in for a while, I was getting so frustrated because I was doing all these open houses, and I was writing down all the data, the numbers, and like, all right, nothing's converting when I would call them. What changed for me was just learning to ask, doing the close. That's what Mike does really well. He's very, like, his word tracks are on point, like the scripts are on point. That's what I think where I'm trying to like get better at, where I could regurgitate these things like how I know my birthday, right? March 10, 1983. I want to be able to say stuff like that. The close, getting to asking to ask. Yeah. I just never did that during my open houses, and you know, big woof. Why I never got appointments, because I never asked for the appointments, and that might be, I don't know, maybe a light bulb for you guys, but it was for me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the number one reason why people don't buy is because they're not asked to, right? And that's probably the number one reason why you didn't book an appointment, because you never asked them to meet with you, right? Think back at the conversations that you had. Did you actually ask them to meet with you? Right? Most of the time it's no. Most of the time we beat around the bush or trying to build rapport or like build a relationship, and you got all this information and data and then do nothing with it, right? You never call them and say, hey, now that I have all this information and data on you, or now that we're face to face and that I know a lot about you, why don't we do this? Why don't we just get together so I can figure out if we're a good fit for each other and if I can help you actually buy the house of your dreams? I don't even know if I can. I don't even know if I'm the best fit for you, but why don't we try? And why don't we do this and get together, right? Like, if you haven't asked, that's probably why nobody's bought, because it's your fault. They're waiting. Like, I believe some of them were probably waiting for you. It's like, man, was I not a good enough client? Like, they didn't even call me. I gave them my phone number, and they didn't even call me, right? So imagine that. Imagine there's a client on the other side. You met them at an open house. They gave you their phone number, and for whatever reason, you didn't call them, right? I'm 100% sure that's happened to some of you guys, and you just don't know because you never talked to that person again, right? So just keep that in mind. Man, we went through a lot of these conversations, Flo. We could talk a little bit about this one. Any questions or any other feedback for LJ? All right, good job, LJ. Good job, Chris. Good job, Grace. All right, so LJ mentioned the word track, right? I don't think I've mentioned that to you guys before, but there are some auto responses that you'll develop over time, right? And so these can be scripts or just responses based on that scenario. And so it's important to understand what those are for you and then lead somebody down a path, right? And so if you're talking to somebody, you're building rapport, you're asking them about, what I ask is mostly timeline and motivation, right? If somebody comes into the open house, I'll say, hey, my name is Mike, I'm the listing agent. How'd you hear about the open house? Was it all of the signs that we put out, or did you already see this house online? Right? Most of the time, they already saw the house online. And so I'll ask them, oh, cool, so you probably already fell in love with the house, otherwise you wouldn't have driven all the way to this house, right? So I'm already planting that seed that they already like the house because they came all this way because they saw a house online. So then I'll ask them, okay, in a perfect world, when would you want to be in this house by? I already know you like it. You already drove all the way over here. When do you want to move in? Right? Now you have some timeline, some motivation. Oh, next week or next month or next year? What's prompting that move, right? What's causing you to think you need to be in this house? And again, I said this house because I'm selling this house. What's prompting you to want to be in this house by June 15th? If you ask the question, they're going to give you the answer. Well, my kid's graduating from school, or, my kid's moving out of the house, or we're having quadruplets, right? Whatever the case is. Oh, okay, well, if you don't get into this house by June 15th, where are you going to go next? Right? Not sure, right? Now you have some ammunition. If you're not sure, man, that's a little bit scary, right? So why don't I do this? Why don't I give you a quick tour around the house, and we can see if this is ultimately the best house for you. And if it is, we can start moving towards the right direction to be able to get you into this house, okay? Like, you have to have those conversations, lead them down a path to be able to want to work with you. And They want to work with you more because now you know a lot about their personal information. You know more, at least for me, I know more about somebody in 1 minute than some of their close friends or family. I know why they need to move, I know what their challenges is, I know what their pain points are, and I know what their motivation and timeline looks like. Chances are nobody else knows that key information, and so now I have a responsibility to move that person forward and help them accomplish that goal or that dream, right? So if you can understand those things, then the other stuff you can work with, right? But the word track and how I lead that is always almost the same, right? The same, almost word for word, to be honest. And I just follow that particular word track, right? Oh, hey, my name is Mike. Welcome to the open house. How did you hear about the house? Was it all of the signs or was it online? I just said that exactly word for word again, right? So if you're not that dialed in about how you greet somebody, how you welcome somebody, how you ask the right questions, then that's where we need to practice a little bit more so that it becomes automatic, right? If they say something to try to throw you off, then have an automatic response, right? That's a great question. Let me take a minute to think about that. Or that's a great question. Why don't you go tour the property and I'll gather that information so by the time you come back, I'll have that information for you. Okay, cool. Right? You have to know how to respond so that you don't look stupid and you're still professional and you can still control and lead that person. Cool? All right, let's go. On the conversation flow, was this you? Mm-hmm. Okay, where do you feel like you're having some hiccups?
Well, I feel like we covered a lot.
Okay.
Of it already, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but just in general, like when they come, I just feel a little awkward, like, you know,
Yeah.
welcoming them and stuff. And then I just had one lady, we talked for like 45 minutes, and I asked for her phone number, and she's like, no. So then I didn't know where to navigate it after that. You know?
Gotcha. So one, I always ask for the phone number up front,
Yeah.
right? Because again, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I get 100% of the time, but some of you guys that have been with me at an open house before, some of you guys have seen me go like 20 for 20, right? So usually get everybody's information, but not always. After you have the conversation, it is harder to ask for their phone number, so you have to give them a reason to give it to you,
Yeah.
right? And so does anybody have a good reason after the fact, if you're not getting the phone number up front, that you could talk to them about getting their phone number after the fact? Anybody good at that part? I always focus on upfront, and yet we can go through a couple scenarios on the back end, but I want to hear what you guys have to say.
She did give me a reason. She said it was, she saw the price of the house, and she said that they have a house in the same neighborhood. Her husband would like to sell in July.
Yeah.
And downsize and move to North Park. And
Okay.
I was like, oh, yeah, let's stay in touch, and I'd love to help you with that move. And then she said,
you're gonna go down the wrong path. And then you have no leverage because now it's only because you want the sale or you want to do that, right? So then I would just ask a question instead. And I would say, hey, Juliana, like what plan do you have in place to be able to execute the sale of your property and then be able to buy a house like this one? No plan, probably, right?
Yeah.
And so would it be valuable for you if I gave you the exact plan that my team and I has used to help sell over 250 houses? Yeah? Okay, awesome. What's the best phone number for you? See, now there's a reason for her to give you the phone number. If you don't give me your phone number, you don't get my secret plan.
yeah.
Right? So you have to create enough reason for them to actually want to give you that phone number and communicate with you. Right? So how you ask the question and how you communicate can make or break that particular conversation. So we need to practice that a little bit more. Okay? Let's go maybe 2 volunteers. Come up with Juliana. I know she gets nervous, so we're going to put her on the spot. I need 2 more volunteers, though.
Nobody Somebody else will.
I need one more volunteer. You're coming into Juliana's open house, and Juliana, your job is to help them sell their future house. So I want you guys to pretend that you're scoping out the neighborhood, and it's because you're gonna be selling your house, so you're just kind of getting a feel for the other houses that are around the neighborhood. And Juliana, it's your job to present yourself and kind of get a listing presentation, or at least collect enough information you can follow up with them to get a listing presentation. Make sense? Okay.
Hello.
Hi, welcome in.
Whoa, this is cool.
Wow, it's a nice
Hi, my
listing.
name's Juliana. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll let you look around.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, what's the price point of this house?
1.2 million.
Wow, that's cool. We're in the neighborhood, and we're looking for our family to. I can't remember what it was, but we're looking for something.
Yeah, we need to sell our house and, you know, move to another house.
I have a gambling problem.
Quadruplets on the way.
Yeah, with kids. Yeah.
Okay, Juliana, learn how to ask questions, okay? Like, focus on asking good questions to elicit more information.
Yeah. So you're looking in this neighborhood?
Yeah, we love the school system here and everything, and it's close to our family, so yeah.
Okay, and how big of a house do you want? How many bedrooms?
At least 4, yeah.
Gotta have a man cave and an office?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like 4 or 5?
Yeah. We can, I have some options that might be a good fit for you. When are you looking to move by?
First we gotta sell, right? To have money.
Yeah, we gotta have a contingent on our house sale down the street.
Yeah.
Do you have an agent that's working with you to help sell your home currently?
We're just starting to look right now.
Not too serious, but we should be more serious.
Yeah, maybe we can set something up. Do you have a... Oh,
It's okay.
okay.
Work through it.
Okay, maybe we can set something up. Do you have a good phone number or email I can reach you at?
Sure, we could set that up, but we're just really looking, so we just kind of like want to kind of breeze through the house and kind of check out. Are there any like features that you could tell us about the house that would make us a little more interested?
Yeah, so this is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. It's located here in Claremont, and like you said, great school system. It has the upgraded kitchen, a hot tub in the back, so big yard.
Nice. I like the yard.
Yeah. Let me just take down your number, and we can, no pressure, we'll just arrange a time to chat, and I can get a better idea of what you want to list your home for, and we can set something up so you can get the best deal possible on your timeline.
Okay, great.
How's the market right now? Are the houses selling or are they sitting for a while?
They're selling, yeah.
They're selling. Nice.
Cool. All right. Good job. Good job. Good job.
I was gonna ask you, is anyone guide in this house?
Yeah, we got this.
Good job. All right. So give Juliana some feedback. And I appreciate you having the courage to come up here. And I did that on purpose to put you on the spot a little bit because I know you get a little nervous. We're in a no judgment zone, so we're not judging you, but we want to give you some feedback, okay?
Definitely.
All right. What do you guys got for her? Be honest. She's tough. She could take it. Brian, what you got?
Ask for their name, like,
Okay.
I just got their name and the number at the very beginning.
Okay. Get the name and number in the beginning. Brian, what you got?
I don't know if she asked, but I would ask for like a timeline of when they'd like to move.
Okay, so timeline, right? Go back to, if somebody mentions selling their house, then you have to try to dig out of them, what does that timeline look like, right? So in a perfect world, when would you want to be out of your house by? Right? It's okay to ask when in that scenario. So make sure you try to get that information out. And then you could dig a little bit deeper and say, well, what happens if you don't sell your house by then? Do you have any other options? Do you have any backup plans, right? You kind of want to know where is their head at, or is there's some kind of emergency to where they have to sell by that point, right? Then you know the urgency. What else? Any other feedback for Juliana?
Maybe raise the excitement level a little bit, like you're actually excited to sell this house, and maybe you can even say that to trick yourself to be more excited, like talking about some of the features, like if you knew it's a family or something, like, oh, well, I'm super excited that this house has 5 rooms. You could turn this room into a playroom for, you know, your kids, or
Yeah.
Do you work from home? This is perfect for an office, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. What else, guys? Give her some more feedback.
More open-ended questions.
Open-ended questions.
The whole goal is for them to be talking more than you. And then usually kind of even just respond. Kind of a good way is to mirror them. Just either repeat the last 2 words they said, and then just pause. And then you'll notice they'll kind of elaborate what they were kind of trying to talk about. Maybe you can kind of talk, if it's a particular neighborhood they're looking in, ask them what are a few things about the neighborhood they really like, or one of the reasons why they really want to live here too as well. Just really make them kind of like just open up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Good feedback for sure. Who else? Anybody else have good feedback?
Just had a question, Juliana. When you do your open houses, like, how do you does it feel natural to you, like when you're, or do you feel nervous over there too?
I feel nervous.
Yeah. So when I first started out too, I felt nervous. Some of the things that helped me out was like, well, one, I have a clipboard, so I'm always holding something. My hands would get like jittery if I kept them, but I had that clipboard, and it was easier to ask for phone numbers that way when I have the clipboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and right off the bat, to give me something to introduce myself to them, I would give them my flyer right off the bat. I don't let them. I actually like, oh, hey, here's a flyer for you guys. Yeah, so it's a lot easier to break the ice that way. I think that tips things.
Yeah, great tips for sure.
Flyer and business.
Yeah. Does anybody else get nervous at open houses? That's okay. I think we all did at some point, right? Yeah, some in the back still do too. Right. So I think it's important to one, master the house, right? The more you know about the house and the neighborhood, the more comfortable you're gonna feel. So if you walk the house, you got there early, you're prepared, you know what's around, then you're gonna naturally feel more comfortable and more strong to talk about it. And so that's first step, to like build your confidence around the house. Number 2, I would say, don't worry about what other people think, right? I think a lot of us, so I used to be super shy when I was a kid, right? So I think as a kid, a lot of us think too much about what other people think about us, so we try to stay reserved and stay quiet and things like that. And so ultimately, I would just suggest be yourself, right? At the end of the day, you may not get everybody, but you'll get the people that want you, right? So don't pretend to be somebody that you're not, because if you do that, then you're always in this game of lies, right? So just be yourself. If you're not normally energetic or outgoing like Grace is, don't fake it, don't pretend to be, but just be more of who you are and be better at who you are being, like used to being, right? If you can understand a little bit more about like the dialogue, then that's going to help you a long way too. So like really take in what we learned today, like what kind of scenarios take place, right? We had 2 brothers looking to sell or buy a house. We had, people that were just looking to buy for their family, people looking for open concept. Like, there's a lot of different scenarios. So just think through about a lot of those things, and that way you're equipped to answer them or respond to them. So increasing your like volume around those types of conversations is going to help all of you guys that are nervous or a little bit timid around the open house. I would say part of it comes also with belief, right? I think we need to focus a little bit more on our team, especially on believing like in yourself, believing in the business, believing in real estate, right? All of these things around belief is really important, right? Because for me, I believe buying a house is a good thing, right? I've done it 8 times, right? Most of you guys know I own 8 houses right now. And because I'm at that level of belief, when I talk to somebody about buying a house, I believe they should too, right? And some of you guys maybe haven't bought a house or you don't quite believe it at that level. I'm not saying you should fake it, but you should really dive deep into why you should believe that, right? Look at stats, look at wealth, look at statistics, and increase your level of belief so that when you say something to somebody, it actually comes across that you believe it too, right? Because I think a lot of you guys that don't own a house or have never sold a house, you don't quite yet believe in it. And so the other person can tell, right? Because you're not coming across as confident. So increasing your belief around real estate, around this business, around you as a person is going to help you a lot. So it comes back down to the mindset we talked about. It comes back down to like personal development, because the more personally developed you are, chances are the more confident you are around the things that you're communicating. And so that will help you in the long run. So all that plus more practice, right? So how much time we got? We got a few more minutes. So let's see, what did we hit? We hit these conversations. Did we handle some objections? Yeah. Was there any other objections you guys wanted to hit? Okay, hit objections. Balance between persistent and needy. I'll talk about that real quick. Avoid cancellation. So let's go back to Chris and LJ. So let's say let's say I have an appointment with you guys on Saturday at 12 o'clock. What would your follow-up be to make sure that I came to that appointment? So Chris, we'll start with you. Let's say it's Friday today, and we're gonna meet tomorrow.
Okay. Hey Mike, it's Chris. I'm calling you to remind you we have our appointment. It's on Saturday at 3 o'clock. Just want to make sure everything's solid. You're gonna be there?
No, I actually had something come up. I'm not sure if I can make it in time.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. From there, I mean, is there another time that would work better for you, or just Saturday just doesn't work out?
Maybe if we could do 4 o'clock, that might be better.
4 o'clock? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can do this. Absolutely, I can make 4 o'clock work better for you. We'll definitely put that in. And I'm just kind of curious, I mean, what was kind of going on that you couldn't make this appointment?
My kids had a baseball game, and I think it's going to be extended, so I just don't want to leave you hanging.
I gotcha. Hey, I appreciate you letting me know. I mean, what's more important than, I get totally that you got to go to your kid's game. That sounds definitely, fuck. I wanted to think there was one way I was trying to Wait, hey, you went with the 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, we're good.
Just take it.
Yeah, I think it's a good job. And then just remember, don't oversell it, right?
It's a different conversation if this is the second time they've canceled. Yeah.
True.
First time, I'm usually accommodating. I know things happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. And then I just kind of go into the end. I would probably, at the end of that conversation, be like, hey, Mike, I just want to let you know, I mean, I can make this change for you. But my calendar is pretty stacked, and I just want to, if there's another person that kind of reaches out to me, I want to make sure that they have that time too available. Could you promise me one thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you need to cancel a second time, could you at least give me a 24-hour heads up so I can give that spot to another person?
Gotcha. No worries. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I really appreciate that, Mike.
Yeah,
All right,
cool.
Thanks so much.
Good job. Good job. So a couple things, right? He asked, because there was a cancellation or a reschedule, he asked the reason, right? And sometimes you could tell if somebody's just bluffing or blowing you off, or if there's a legitimate reason, right? And so in this case, kid has a baseball game. Oh, of course, like I wouldn't want to miss my kid's baseball game either. Let's get you down for 4 o'clock. And if it ends early, feel free and text me. I'll probably still be around because I have that slot already blocked for you, right? So let them know you blocked that spot and that's specifically for them. And of course, they should go to that baseball game or whatever the case is, right? LJ? Let's try it with you. So we have an appointment tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I haven't responded to any of your other texts besides our first call. What's the phone call like?
Are you gonna answer?
Yeah, I'll answer.
I thought I was gonna go.
No, leave a voicemail.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Mike, it's LJ. LJ with LPT Realty. How you doing?
Hey, LJ.
Hey, I was just calling to confirm our appointment for tomorrow. You said we're gonna meet tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Are we still good for that?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I've been so busy. Yeah, I don't think I can make it tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
No, I totally get it. I totally understand. I'm just kind of curious. What's going on that you guys had to cancel the appointment?
I just got caught up with work and I'm just kind of behind on things.
Yeah, no, I get it. Same thing here. What's a next time that would work better for you? What day and time could we reschedule this at?
Honestly, like maybe like a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, a couple of weeks from now. You know what? Just kind of curious. Last time that we spoke, you said that you're really, really looking for this one house, and you said that it was you know, your dream house to get into. I'm just kind of curious. Are you willing to let a couple weeks go by before that one dream house might go away?
Oh, yeah, man, we did really like that house. Yeah, I mean, ideally not. Yeah, well, I guess what do we got to do at this point to still try to get that one?
Yeah, so I think it's a good idea for us to, especially if it's that dream house that you guys really like and you want to get into. Let's try to meet as soon as possible. When's the next available appointment for you? You mentioned today was not a good time. When's the next best time for us to meet?
Yeah, maybe Monday.
Monday? Okay, Monday at what time?
In the afternoon, maybe 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, perfect. I'll put you down on my calendar, and I'm going to give you a little bit of homework too, just to prep before we meet up for our appointment. Does it sound fair enough?
Yeah, of course.
Perfect. Yeah, at that point, I'll just
cool.
You know,
Yeah, it's locked in.
Locked in.
Cool. Any feedback for LJ or for Chris?
I love that you asked them to do homework because then it is like another reminder before the meeting.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Like bought in.
Yeah, you want to lock them in, right? With something. What else?
Promise thing was, I love that. That was so good. Like, can you promise me something? Like,
Yeah.
Pulls at the
Yeah,
heartstrings.
yeah. Can you do me a massive favor?
Yeah. Ask for a favor. Ask for that commitment again. Like, give them something or hook them somehow, right? Like in this case, if they rescheduled for an hour, I would say, oh, cool, you know what? I'm actually going to go to Starbucks to kind of fill that gap. What would you like from Starbucks so I can have it ready for you when you come to the appointment, right? Most people, they don't want to leave you hanging if there's something else like along with it because they'll feel guilty. Most people don't want to feel guilty. So if you guilt trip them, you might be able to get them to confirm to show up, right? Again, just one option, but keep things in mind like that. All right, other one, balance persistent versus needy. So between Chris, Grace, and LJ and everybody that came up, who felt like they were needy? Anybody felt like Chris, Grace, or LJ were needy?
Test 1 2 3. 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 Josh answers. What's up, everybody? With audio. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Technical difficulties. How's it feel? Sound good? Yep. Almost. Michelle, who's Michelle? I don't know who Michelle is. Oh, am I good?
What?
All right. Can you hear me? Good?
Oh, wait.
Oh.
I know. There we go.
There we go. Oh, now I hear it. Now I hear it in my computer. All right, what's going on, everyone? I got, who's Melanie and Michelle? You guys are strangers to this group. I like it. Welcome. We're going to go about 30 minutes, not too long. I have an appointment that I have to run off to. But we just had Mike's live stream training that we did on YouTube. So if you want to go back and watch it on YouTube, head over to YouTube. We talked about open house scripts. We talked about how to handle objections, your mindset. Mike's been going for like 2 hours. Literally 2 hours. And he is not stopping. So at the end of the day, hit up YouTube. I think it's DBR / DBR. Don't buy real estate. But I'm glad you guys are here. It's almost like an open mic for you guys today. We could talk about anything that you guys want. We can kind of parlay off of Mike's meeting that he had and talk about open houses and how to structure transactions and conversations with different buyers who come in. But it's kind of free time for you guys. So like I said, I appreciate you guys joining us. I see Mr. Market. What's up, Mr. Market? How's it going? What are you eating over there? Chips? Ooh, there we go. Sun chips? No, that's, ooh, dang, you went foreign on me. Are those spicy? Spicy? Yeah. Looks spicy. Everyone else, just Tim. It's just Tim and Mr. Market. I saw Zach for a little bit. Zach's got his logo up now. But that's cool. I appreciate it. Tim and I had like an hour together today. I got to know Tim a little bit better than I want to. That's for sure. Tim gave me a perspective on the real estate market. I said, "Oh, Tim, how's the real estate market out there?" And he said, "You know what? I have no idea." And I was like, wow, that's kind of refreshing in a way, because everyone who asks me how the real estate market is knows how the real estate market is. And anyone I ask usually has a specific answer because I'm in the game and I'm around people on a daily basis. But for the most part, no one knows what's really going on. And Tim's like a real man in the real world. He's just sitting IT. He has no idea what the market's doing. I'm over here stressing about the market day in and day out. He has no cares about the market. So that's like 99% of the people out there, I'm assuming, right? So the fear of the excuses that people give, that real estate agents give in terms of people are afraid to buy is not necessarily true in a way. That's kind of what I was concluding to. I think it's more our mindset as real estate professionals not being able to prepare potential buyers to approach this market in a certain angle or a certain way. I think if you can eliminate any pitfalls a buyer might have, I think you could be successful in this market. And we see the news as real estate professionals, but like I said, Tim had no idea how the market's doing in his neck of the woods. So most people who are looking to buy a house are looking to buy a house. They don't care about what the rates are. They don't care what purchase prices are. They kind of have a feeling that they know what they want and what they're going to get with a certain amount of loan they can get approved for. So for the most part, everyone who's walking into your sphere, your lead database knows that they want to buy a house. It's rare that you're going to have to actually sell. So we have to shift from salesmen to maybe customer service reps who I go to In-N-Out. The person at In-N-Out's not trying to sell me on anything, right? They know, and some of you guys don't know what In-N-Out is. They know I'm there for the burger, right? They just take my order. They make sure they have the order right 3 or 4 times, and then they prepare the order and they deliver their product. Of course, buying a house is a little bit more dramatic than that, but at the end of the day, if someone's walking in to your In-N-Out line, you know they want to buy a house. You take their order, repeat their order, make sure that you know exactly what they want out of this experience, and then provide for them at the end of the day. So that was kind of cool sitting back there with Tim talking about the cluelessness of the society out there in terms of the real estate market. So long story short, people walking into your buildings, your offices, your lead database, they want to buy a house. Help them buy a house. Help them get their burger as fast as possible. Make sure you get their order right. Repeat it 3 or 4 times. Find out what they want. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, and then go out there and find them the product. If that product's not online or currently listed, go use other sources to find that product your buyer wants. Don't use interest rates or inflation or high inventory as excuses anymore. And that's just kind of my point of view to all you agents out there, all you investors out there, same type of thing. There's people buying and selling left and right. And I'm speaking to myself here, preaching to the quiet choir. You just have to prepare your product to that end buyer. Now, yes, certain price points are going to just kind of deflate some buyers out of this market because things are so expensive. I have a property in Bay Park, for example. We listed it at 1.6. That's a 200 10% down. That's $160,000 down payment, and the mortgage payment on that is $12,000. Not many people are going to be able to afford that. So as an investor, I have to reverse engineer this, right? I should not be buying properties that are going to have a $12,000 payment unless I can withstand the whole time while I wait for that right buyer. That buyer is going to be a doctor, a dentist, a dual income family, someone who wants Bay Park, very specific, has a dad or mom who's going to co-sign for them. Or I could look into not the hood, but lower priced areas in San Diego that are $500,000-$600,000. And those are going to go like hotcakes. So as from an investor standpoint, same type of model, right? No one knows what's going on in the market, but you do have to reverse engineer it to understand where your end buyer is going to be. And how do I market that or market for that? It's just having your buy box, having certain things in order to where you say no more than you say yes. I think Michael's in here. What's up, Michael? You send me deals all the time, and I probably say no now more than I say yes. And that's kind of almost on purpose, because I don't want to be in a position where I'm holding on to all these properties and bankrupt, right? If you're holding on, or you have high debt, or you're in a certain situation, it kind of mutes your creativity, mutes your ambition. It makes you focus on the wrong things at the wrong time, because all you care about is making sure you survive another month. I don't want to be in that position. I want to be able to provide value where I can. So you guys have to say no more than you say yes at the end of the day. What's up, Mr. Richard Judge? But there's no agenda for today, so raise your hands. It's just me. Tyler's hanging out with CEOs. I don't know what he's doing. But Tyler's out there doing what he does best, mix and mingling. I'm here solo. So raise your hand if you guys want to chat, ask any questions. Have you guys seen that Redfin feature where it shows where people are moving from? Have you seen that stat? Like if you type in a address on Redfin, you scroll all the way down and it gives you more stats on who's moving from where to what area. I utilized that this week. It was pretty cool. You were able to see that Los Angeles had more people coming down to San Diego. Washington, D.C. had more people coming to San Diego. The people leaving San Diego were going to places like Arizona, Nevada, and Texas. Those were kind of the three states that were heavily seeing the influx of Californians go. So if you're in those states, you almost want to market to people in California. And that's kind of the point I wanted to bring with that. So utilize the data more times than not. Oh, I got a hand. Lower hand. Ask to unmute. There we go. You can unmute.
What's up? How we doing?
What's up, Michael? How you doing?
I got a question for you. I guess I'm starting to get into development now.
Nice.
Would you know anyone that would be down like 3.3 million for like a 170 unit townhouse in Red Lodge, Montana?
I would. They just need to see the
equity stake in it too.
Is that the one you emailed me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I sent it to a couple wholesalers, sorry, not wholesalers, investors, who are looking at it. I mean, that's a lot of cash in this environment. Your best bet, and I'm not going to take credit for this, is to go straight to like a hedge fund. I know Zach knows a couple of hedge funds or people who do stuff like that. So I would contact one of those guys and see if they have investors. The next method was, and this was what I was going to do, was to talk to people with 401ks or IRA distributions or IRAs that need to invest. I think there's plenty of people out there with lots of money in their 401k right now who are set to retire and that want to invest those monies. So talking to a hedge fund guy and then talking to like a Madison Trust or anyone who has 401ks, go to those like networking events.
All right. Now, this is just a theoretical thing. Like, what do you think about these terms? Jason, our guy in Boise's business partner, like, we're kind of passively talking about it. And he's offering like 9% interest, 2% origination, interest only until we go vertical for the property. It's kind of like that kind of payment for like 3.3. Do you think I think it's a good deal, and potentially we're like thinking about a small, like maybe 15% equity stake for him. I mean, it's basically 2-year payoff, and I'm just trying to think, like, is there anything wrong with that from your loan perspective?
So what's your payment going to be? Is there a payment, or is he saying no payments?
He's just saying interest, like no payments at all until you go vertical, and then just interest only.
Okay. And he's going to shave off 15. He's going to shave off 15% equity, basically.
Basically, he only really wants to fund it, like the interest, but like we want to make sure because he's being very flexible, obviously, I think, with the terms, especially for like the interest only and like wait till we go vertical thing.
I would probably try to negotiate down the points.
Okay.
2 points is a lot on 3.2. I think everything else sounds good. If you can get the payments kind of postponed until you go vertical or forever, just kind of rolled in with the exit, I think that'll even sweeten up the pie. Yeah, but I would just reduce the points as much as possible.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Look at that. Good question.
Thank you so much.
Anyone here at $3.2 million? I have a deal for you, right? I'll wholesale it to you. What's up, Donovan? Donovan's in the house. Donovan, how's life? I know we talk a lot on these streams. Haven't seen you in a couple weeks. I feel like I haven't seen you. I feel so lost. How's your real estate career up there?
Interesting.
Oh, okay. Elaborate, my friend. Elaborate. The floor is yours.
Currently co-listing with another agent on a big property. Since we're on the stream, I can't go into too many details, but let's say there's a big difference between where the seller wants to list and market value, like millions of dollars of difference.
Oh, wow.
So
is it active?
Interesting. Not yet.
Oh, okay.
We're in the early stages still. So I'd say this month has been very interesting in that there's some very good leads that have popped up for me.
That's good.
Someone's reached out to me because they want to refer me for a Newport Beach listing.
Nice.
But again, it's not set. Like, that's what I mean. It's like there's a couple of things in the pipeline that could be very good, but it's still, how should I say? It's frustrating that it hasn't materialized yet, but at the same time, it's given me time to prepare for those things that may be, coming in that timeline. So potentially 2 weeks away from having a call with a Newport Beach client. Perfect. Ian gave me some homework that I need to work on. I'm working on that right now. So I got time for that. This ranch listing and having these kinds of situations has given me, I don't know if I'll stay with the client, honestly, because showing the property is a 12-hour showing.
No, thanks.
Trying to show 4,500 acres, or give or take, it just takes forever to see everything. So that's what I mean by interesting. A lot of potential, a lot of good things, but at the same time, is it the right choice for me? Is that the best investment of my time?
Well, how much you're gonna get paid on this, baby? Oh, I guess you can't talk about it on live, but I mean, if there's a paycheck and you don't have to invest too much time on it, you can co-list. I think you gotta take what you can get, right?
I'm the boots on the ground.
Yeah.
So I'm the one who's doing that 12-hour day for a single showing.
Yeah, no thanks.
And that's where it kind of becomes like, is it worth that time to sit on the market for 2 years and not sell and do multiple showings like that, or cut bait and move on to something else?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I mean by a lot of learning of what's the best option, what's going to be the best use of my energy and resources. And
yeah.
So it's fun. It was cool to get a tour of a big old ranch.
Can you sell it off market? Like, once you guys have the contract, you can kind of blast it out and try to get your own buyer without doing the boots on the ground stuff?
I mean, If we can reasonably price it, yes. I've just gotta pull that information on it. I've reached out to hunters because it basically is going to be sold to either someone who wants to hunt or someone who wants to turn it into a horse ranch. So, kind of doing those kinds of things to see if I could find a buyer for the property.
Nice.
And
yeah, you could probably find someone off market if you know the end buyer. We were just talking about it. You know that end buyer, what they want, what they need. I think you can reduce the boots on the ground of like 12 hours. I think that could work its way around, but if he's not going to competitively price it, then it's kind of a waste of time.
Like, and that's kind of the situation like we're running into is like, if someone overpriced their property by $100,000, $200,000, I wouldn't bat an eye because that's just California.
Yeah.
But millions of dollars worth is like, that's just
adds up.
that's too much.
Yeah. And how do you know it's overpriced? Just based on comps, or you just know?
I mean, it's all about looking at the comps. I've pulled together several ranches within, I guess that's about a 50-mile radius. It's not like, oh, the ranch next door, there's not a lot of ranches of that size. So it was basically looking at within, say, 50 miles. Yeah, I guess it's about 50 miles. Ranches of similar size, similar infrastructure. I've prepared. I was going to sit down with them this week, but they're upset. Family drama also, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think I would start looking for buyers now.
I've already started to. I've got some leads. It's more of like I know someone who knows hunters.
Yeah.
And so I've brought it out to them and said, here's this ranch, here's this. Roughly, here's what we're looking at. Do you know anyone who's interested? He's like, yes, I do. I want to come see it.
There you go.
So it's just a matter of waiting for familial things to clear so that then I can take him on the ranch, do that tour, and be like, I know, and then he's probably be like, I know the guy.
Yeah.
Or gal.
Perfect.
Who wants to buy this for a hunting ranch. So actually my co-listing agents were talking about they wanted to buy it too.
Nice.
But they're like, yeah, we can't afford it.
Yeah.
Because it is going to be up there as a ticket
Nice.
price. So
yeah, I would just be aggressive.
Just
I mean,
learning.
it's money. At the end of the day, it's money. I wouldn't let anything slip by in this market. I know you've had opportunities to refer and pick up deals, but if you could make it work, I would make it work. How's everything else going? I know we challenged you a couple months ago to make some moves. Did you make any of those moves yet, or where are you at? You probably don't even remember.
I'll be able to tell you in July.
Okay, July. We got 2 more months, and then we'll jump back on like an accountability call with you and see where you're at and see how everything's going. Have you closed anything since then? I think you have, right? 2 deals? I think I saw you on the list somewhere.
Yeah, so this year just closed 2. I had 1 fall out of escrow. It was a January, February, March, April, May, 5-month escrow.
Jeez.
Short sale just didn't work out. Negotiations with the junior lien holders just didn't work out. However, I did manage to. It's a property that could be sold, like could be picked up. Some deep cleaning done, and then sold for $160,000 over what it's purchased for.
Nice.
It's brand new roof, brand new flooring, brand new windows, brand new AC, brand new kitchen, brand new bathrooms, just over leveraged.
That's crazy.
So even though we lost the opportunity to purchase it, I got an options contract signed for 3 years on that property at that sales price that we agreed upon.
Oh, that's cool.
with the condition to my buyers that I get to represent them in the purchase of the property and the selling of the property.
Nice. That's
So
good.
even though, like, I looked at it as, if we are not able to get this for the house that they want to move into, let's not lose this investment opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you can, hard money loan to basically purchase it and flip it in a 1 week after acquiring it, there's still room for them to make money, and there's room for me to make money as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's kind of like, again, learning.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh no, it fell out of escrow, that sucks, boo-hoo, woe is me. It's like, what can I do for my clients that's going to make this an amazing story for them to tell of, hey, it didn't work out, but my agent got it locked in for me at this price, which is $160,000 below market. And then I can turn around and sell it and make a profit. Okay, cool. That's something I can now tell, future buyers, or that's part of the value that I bring as an agent now. So a lot of learning. And like I said, there's a lot of things that are delayed, which is frustrating because it's like, I want to sell it now. Like this list, I have a listing that's going to be going live in June. Life happens, right? Tenant doesn't leave. They're supposed to leave in December. They didn't leave until end of February. Seller decides that they wanted to remodel it. Great. So there's all these things, and I think the big thing I'm learning is to be patient.
Yep.
Like, I didn't think that this client's purchasing journey would be going until now. So like, I think that's something that's kind of still surprising me as a newer agent is my timeline and the reality of timeline for purchasing and selling a property is there's like a gap of 3 to 5 times.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that.
Well, I think it's like that for everyone at this point in the market. Like I just got a text right now, another delay of 30 days from a potential seller who just said, hey, I have to push back closing 30 days because I just got some work orders till the end of the month of June. And I'm like, well, we're supposed to close next month. And now he wants to close and then stay. And that ruins the rehab and that pushes everything back. So at the end of the day, like you just got to roll with the punches. I think that's kind of the ultimate goal with everything. But I think you're on the right track. I think you just got to roll with the punches. You're doing the right thing. You're looking after your buyers. Follow the basic steps. And I guess in July, we'll see if you're ready for action, if you're ready for showtime.
Yeah, end of July. Stuff's going to be happening end of July.
Yeah, good. All right, well, good to hear from you. I love it. Keep up the good work. Who else we got in here? Anyone else? Any last calls for group chat? This is our personal group chat. There's only, 15 people here? 15 on YouTube? Let's see YouTube. I forgot YouTube existed. Tim had to talk to me for an hour, so I know he's all talked out. No, he's texting. He's active. He's just not talking.
I actually got a question for you.
Nope, too late. Sorry, just joking. Go ahead.
So I've got a prospect. They're wanting to sell a home and purchase a home.
Okay.
I'm competing. They know that I'm a newer agent. The only reason that they even sat down with me is because they know my parents. But I'm probably the only agent who's followed up with them and who has consistently made time and effort to answer their questions. There's one question that no matter how many times I answer it, I feel like either the seller's not able to grasp it or I'm not doing a good job explaining it. The seller is looking at this beautiful house that they built. So, contractor built a house. It's 20 years old. It still looks almost brand new, except for the roof.
Nice.
And they want to know, okay, I have this detached garage. I have a second story that's about 1,200 square feet. it's empty, but I put a bathroom up there, and if I feel like I'm giving it away for free, like, you know, what value does it give me in my sale? Is like, well, if you finish it out, it's going to add roughly X amount of value to the price, right?
Nice.
But if it's unfinished, if it's unpermitted, does it add value? Yes. But it's not going to add as much as you want. So there's this feeling of resentment from the seller of, I'm giving this away for free.
Mm.
And it's like, you're not giving anything away from free. You know, there's an opportunity cost, right? So either you invest $250,000, $300,000 to convert it into a permitted ADU, and then you reap the rewards, right? Because that opportunity cost, here's the added value to your property that you can look to, you know, to return on that. Or someone else gets that opportunity to pay that opportunity cost. I just don't. I think, like, as a contractor, they're thinking like price per square foot is something like I run into. It's like, well, this one sold for this price per square foot, and this one sold for that price per square foot, because that's how they think as a contractor. So since you're kind of in that, I'm just wondering, like, how do you answer the very real need of a seller who wants to, like, who's having this resentment to any future buyer of like, oh, I'm giving this away, or, you know, I have these unfinished storage spaces, you know, that's got to count for something. Yes, it does. Well, how much does it count? It depends on the buyer. And they don't like that. They want a very clear, definitive, objective answer in a very subjective transaction. What would be your recommendation on how to?
I'm more of I think I'm too upfront with people. I think I'm too blunt, right? So you could just take my approach and polish it a little bit, but I would lay down the facts, the stats, the comps, take away the emotional side from it. That's what you're there for. You don't want to play into their emotions too much, but you do want to be respectful of their emotions and kind of help them understand what getting out of this house at the right price means to them, instead of focusing on whatever this unfinished space is or whatever she thinks it is. But you're the professional, right? So keep it professional, keep them educated on the comps in the area and what things go for with things of her kind of product that she has out there, and just go from there. I would not feed into her delusion. Hopefully she's not watching. But that's what it is. It's just seller emotions that you gotta have to do the exact opposite, just to calm them down and keep them focused on the prize at hand.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I may follow up, it's now that we're starting to see a softening in the market, I tend to I push an attraction strategy, right? Instead of we're not in the right market to be overpricing our properties and chasing the market all the way down until where it finishes. This is the reality. The market is softening. Interest rates just went up again. The odds of getting that premium, you know, that strategy working is very low. So like, let's say, for example, previously when I first met them, we were looking at the home, let's say 3 to 3.2, somewhere in that range. But now we're softening. And I'm trying to figure out, is it better to be aggressive? Like, let's price it more like 2.7, 2.8, or can we still get away with, you know, that 2.9? Like, I think not having gone through a big market shift yet, I'd like to know what would be the best pricing strategy. Like, be super aggressive, get that interest, get that competition, sell it. That is the market value, or more of a middle ground. Like, it's like your advice on that.
No one's gonna like my advice or appreciate it, but I'm gonna give you guys a glimpse into what I'm experiencing. So I have 4 properties on the market, and just listing it at the current market value is not working. listing it 20% below the latest comp is not working. Yeah, you're getting more traffic, but there's so much inventory that people are still having a hard time deciding on which property to select from. And when people have too much variety or too much room to look at, they end up doing nothing, right? And so things sit longer. So you have to create hype. If you're just an agent who's not going to create the hype, then just list it at the peak and let it sit there until someone gives you an offer, right? Someone's eventually going to give you a lowball offer or some sort of offer that you can work with. It's just going to take time. I'm going to stir up the pot and I'm going to create some hype. And I'm going to list things at $1. I don't know how, luckily I'm the seller and I don't have to sell anyone on this plan. I'm going to list the house at $1 and I'm going to get all the traffic in the world. I'm going to get the media attention, the social media clicks. I'm going to get every single lead that comes through those doors. I'm going to get mortgage leads, real estate leads, neighbors, the hype. I'm going to leverage that. And you could pitch that to a seller like, hey, this market is different. This is not your average market. I don't know how it is in certain areas and where Tim lives. He has no idea, right? But if things are sitting 30, 60, 90 days, you have to create the hype. You're not going to create the hype listing it at current market value. You're not going to even create the hype listing it at current value and then dropping it 100,000 60 days later. So I don't know how you can use your own words, Donovan, to portray that to your seller when it comes to pricing, but you have to use some sort of hype. There has to be hype. If there's not hype, it's going to sit in this market. With interest rates climbing, hopefully they come down a little sooner. You just have to figure that out. Maybe it's a larger seller credit. Maybe you list it aggressively with a guaranteed $30,000 buy down for their interest rates, and then market that to your seller and to your buyers of, hey, this is why this is important. Affordability. It's going to bring people in the doors because they know that they can afford the payment. But to answer your question, I wouldn't list it at the current market value. I wouldn't list it 5% less. I would go deep. I would go 30% lower than anything else on the market in that area, with the reassurance to your seller that you don't have to accept an offer. You're going to get lowball offers. You don't have to accept it. But you do have to make a splash. If you're not going to make a splash, this is where we're going to price it, and this is why, and this is your proper expectation, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. And kind of let them choose. They might laugh you out of the building, or they might say, hey, look, I like it. I like your attitude. I love the energy. But we're going to list it at this price. We'll go with your credit idea. I think it's a fantastic idea. But you do have to give them both sides of the coin.
Okay, so in some sense, I could maybe present a sheet. Option one. Here's that strategy. Here's roughly what it's going to look like. Option two. I'm going to list it for $19.99. We want this splash. We want this attention. We want this kind of craziness. Here's how that strategy would work. Here's why I'd recommend it. Option three. Attraction strategy, below market value, nice big cut, plus, depending on the price that the buyer brings, a guaranteed, credit towards, a buy down for points.
Yeah, exactly. And look at the way big box companies work or shopping, like product selection that we use on a daily basis. When you go, I don't go to Walmart anymore, but when you go to Walmart and you see a rollback with a big smiley face, you think it's some sort of sale. It might not be. I saw the conspiracy theories where they lift it up and it's not even on sale. They just stick the for sale and there's a smiley face on it, so people are more inclined to use it. So I like the word you use, the attraction strategy. That's what everyone does. I hate to admit this, but I went to Olive Garden the other day and I sit down and the guy goes, look, you can get a buy one, take one home. And I'm like, what? What does that mean? But it got my attention. And I was like, let me look at this menu. So you're telling me I can get lasagna now and lasagna for later? You have to be able to, one, attract people in the door, and two, sell them on some sort of product that you're giving them. You got to copy the best marketers out there. Nike is not just putting shoes out there for $29.99 or $100 and hoping they sell. There's some sort of marketing campaign surrounding that shoe. There's some sort of hype, right? If it's just a standard Nike product, it's probably discount, like it's a lower price product because they know it's going to sell 9 times out of 10 because it's that lower end product. But if they have some Travis Scotts, it's a limited edition. They're making some hype. There's a release date. There's a line out the door. You got to do the same thing with real estate. And that's one thing I hate about, I mean, Mike's my agent and he could probably hear me. That's what I hate about the conventional day-to-day real estate transaction. It's so cookie cutter. We take no skills from other kind of environments, no marketing tips. We just list the house and we go. And for you, I think you get that and you can portray that in your own words, polish that up. Donovan words, the attraction option, the fire sale option that will still get people in there, or the hype, right? This is a limited edition, whatever it is, at this price point. We're not taking anything less. Come and get it type thing. So there's different markets for different strategies, but I think in this market, you have to give your sellers options. It's not going to be who has the best Facebook page or Instagram page or Facebook ads. It's who's going to have the most hype.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it'd be easy for me if it was less than $1 million because it's very much in a big buy box. But when you're in that $3 million, it's a very small group of people who are in that buy box.
Yeah.
So I think that's the issue that I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'll try that. I'll come up with
come up with your own
option.
option. Even in that $3 million box, there's someone there's still some guy who's looking for a deal or thinks he's looking for a deal. You just have to get him in the door. And for you, selfishly, it's to get him in the door to get a lead, right? That lead could be for that property, could be for another property, but you have to hack the game. You're a big advocate on seller satisfaction, which I appreciate about you. And you're going to do the right thing with all this traffic, right? You're going to end up marketing to multiple buyers to get that price driven up higher. And you're not going to settle until that price is exactly where they want it or as close as possible. So I know you know you. Your seller just needs to know that you're in their corner regardless of what strategy you're going to go with.
Okay.
I see Chris is in the house. Chris.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, no problem. Chris ghosted me I emailed him. He doesn't even email me back. Yeah, you better check your email, bro. You better check your email. Tim's going to be on my computer tomorrow checking my email, so he's going to see it. I told Tim earlier that my computer's super slow. He's like, how old is it? And I was like, 6 years old. He's like, nah, let me solve that for you. I'm going to tap into your computer tomorrow. And I go, is that legal? And he's like, yeah, I do it all the time. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So I got to clean up my desktop, make sure there's no indecent exposure. I don't think there is on this laptop. I think I got a secret Kanye laptop. Am I allowed to say Kanye? Probably not. Dang. All right, well, that's it for tonight, guys. We'll see you tomorrow on the net. No, I'm just joking. Anyone else have any questions, concerns? We went 47. Well, this was the Donovan show, basically. Donovan hogged up all the mic. Mr. Market, I think, is a statue. Has he even moved? Are you moving? Oh, there he is. There he goes. Okay, cool. I still don't know who Michelle is, but whatever. Hopefully she's cool. Oh, she just left. Maybe not. All right. I think that's it. You guys know how to reach me, how to find me. Don't Buy Real Estate on Instagram. We got the wholesale course that's launched. Take the 5-day boot camp. I need some feedback. A couple of you guys left me some feedback, so I appreciate that. We'll make some changes as we go. Our off-market list will be updated appropriately this Friday, and so you guys can all have access to that all through our course at school.com/DBR. I butchered that. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. What was I going to say before you distracted me? Damn it. Anyways, have a good weekend, or good Tuesday, I should say. I have an appointment here in 10 minutes that I'm not going to make it to. So wish me luck. I'm sure there's traffic, but that's what happens when I make sacrifices for you guys, okay? Later. Peace.